I really do stand by what we said. Is like if I think most spiritual teachers, quote unquote, wish they had that man's raw magnetic charisma
Oh, right, yeah.
of like his competency as an orator and his ability to just like he can say some really wild ass shit and just roll with it. And like, like it doesn't phase you can tell that it doesn't phase him at all what anybody thinks of him. He's just like, I'm telling y'all the truth.
Right,
If you
yeah.
if you learn to take cold showers, you ain't gotta pay for your heat in the summertime.
In the first aeon, I was the Great Spirit. In the second aeon, men knew me as the Horned God, Pangenitor, Panphage. In the third aeon, I was the Dark One, the Devil. In the fourth aeon, men knew me not, for I am the Hidden One. In the fifth aeon, I appeared before you as Baphomet, the god before all gods who shall endure to the end of the earth. In this new aeon, I appear to you as CMN.
Imagine that there is a brilliant white light just above.
Is commentary on the magic art.
In the years of the primal force, in the dawn of terrestrial birth.
Oh, that was very educational.
Now magic will take place. Don't be fooled by what I just said.
Welcome, everyone. I am spiritually melanated Kennedy, and this is Comedic Magic News, the only podcast that's breaking through the simulation of the archons to bring y'all the real shit. Joining me, as always, is the evil scientist from the beginning of time that has created the situation we are in now, Yakuba Matata. Yakuba, how are you, my friend?
It's just another day spreading that good tricknology. How about you?
I'm all right. Also joining us is, well, you've been on the show before, technically. It wasn't a regular episode, but I guess welcome back, Cios, everyone. Cios, hey, how are you doing?
Cios.
Yes, it's good to be back. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, this one's been actually kind of a while in the making.
Yeah, a few weeks now.
Yeah, we were looking for a good excuse to have you on. So, and then the minute you were like, "Oh, hey, did you know that this happened?" It's like, "Oh, okay, great. Here's our opening."
Well, let's hope this doesn't wind up being a terrible excuse.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, really? I thought.
They're a lost child?
Yes.
How'd you know?
How'd you know?
No reason.
All right.
It was your dark blue Chevrolet. Oh God. Well, let's all take a brief moment after that Amber Alert to not do anything.
Didn't they do a study that Amber Alerts don't actually like help at all?
I believe so, but also like that doesn't. If showing people studies convinced them, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Well, it definitely doesn't help around here because it caused me to turn the Amber Alerts off on my phone. So,
right.
Sorry,
yeah.
kids.
Should we get into the opening discussion before we lose the plot too thoroughly?
What's the opening discussion?
I don't know. You planned this episode.
You're right. Well, I wanted to kind of briefly talk about something that Cios is uniquely qualified as the probably one of the few people I know that is still actively propagandizing for the Discordian movement.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, and not in like a little pussyfoot kind of way either, where it's like I'm sharing memes on Facebook. Like, Cios, you've described. I mean, one of the first things I think we saw you popping off in the Discord about is like, oh yeah, I got this copy of Principia Discordia, just like threw it in a mailbox or something. It was some shit like that.
Oh, I routinely buy stacks of them actually, and just kind of
You're like, which time?
Write little notes and codes and stuff to mess with people with. I actually think one of the first times I was outside of an art studio putting writing links to the podcast inside of the notes and on Pope cards and hiding them behind bits of art and stuff in the studios down the street.
That's
So
what I
people
was
would
gonna
eventually
say.
find them. I don't know if anybody that ever brought anybody to the show, but
If
I
it
was trying.
did, please get a hold of us and please tell us that you saved that card. That's a fucking talisman now.
But yeah, no, as silly of a thing as it is kind of at least one of the running bits in my life on and offline. So yeah.
Nah, because I'll tell you this, you know, seeing somebody post a weird link or says, "Oh man, you should check this out," or you know, that's one thing. If I found a weird book or a card and it had something like that written on it, I would what's the Vice Out quote? It's like I know nothing that can lead a man greater than a veiled mystery. But I think what the opening discussion was supposed to be is more of just an examination of where Discordianism is in the current year. And for me, it really does it with the exception of present company. I think for most folks, it is kind of a almost a relic because like Robert Anton Wilson is the reason that I know about it. You know, reading Illuminatus
Yeah.
and finding his work. So I know about it. I'm down with it. I like the I have an Eris on my arm for an Eris tattoo on my arm. I'm totally down to clown. I enjoy the sort of philosophical nature of it. I enjoy the fuckery nature of it. The trickster aspects of it, things like that. Those are really cool. But I feel like every time I've gotten anywhere on the internet with like groups of Discordians, they're they're worse than chaos magicians, and that's saying something.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of people telling the same stupid jokes that they read in a book from the 60s.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, they're kind of just like stuck. They basically kind of turned it into what it wasn't supposed to be.
Right. They've like
Like a bit
stratified
more
it
of a
or
dogma. Like, well,
right,
you have to
yeah.
say these jokes and say these words if you're a Discordian and everything. And like,
Yeah.
that's obviously not the point. That's not the case. So you're right on that. But I mean, there are still people out there kind of doing it right, I think.
Keeping the fire lit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like it's become so mimetic now, right? It's in a way, I feel like the only way that it has survived in a positive sense is that it's had such a wide reach that isn't so directly like Discordian based. Like Discordianism, its imagery and its ideas get around into all sorts of weird places. It's why we have like you can see like Discordian imagery being used for like right-wing bullshit now too. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
You do see it like pop up in lots of places that you wouldn't necessarily expect it. And yeah, unfortunately, in some ways, like the whole, original Operation Mindfuck thing with that both the Bobs were doing back in Playboy in the letters section where they were writing letters and talking about the Illuminati and everything like that. And their whole intent was to kind of be silly with it and make people think that like, oh well, like none of this makes sense and try to make people, like realize that they shouldn't be following what they read or hear all the time. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
kind of seems to have done the opposite. And so you can almost say in a way that Discordianism might have kind of led to a bunch of the QAnon stuff as well.
I
But
think almost what was supposed to be in some way an antidote to the type of post-truth, postmodern, purely like chaos of the world, with a thing that was supposed to in a way inoculate you in the idea that like no, you have to just accept chaos as an inevitability and understand the arbitrary nature of beliefs and your ideas and stuff like that. Instead, it almost it just became or in a way it led to the same thing that it was trying to protect you from. We're going to show you the trick in kind of a fun in jest way, and instead,
people wound up taking it seriously.
yeah. There you go. Talking points that were thrown out in Illuminatus and things like that became things that were repeated by people who believed them in earnest.
Exactly. Exactly.
And now you have like I said, QAnon and
Well, it's the idea of What I think that Discordianism as a whole was trying to give you was a sort of breaking away from consensus reality and consensus narrative, right? And instead, instead of breaking away from it and realizing this sort of chaotic nature of existence itself, it turned into the general counter narrative idea, like whatever the media tells you, believe the exact opposite of it.
Exactly.
Right, yeah, because we are so attached to these sort of grander narratives that explain reality that even when we get told a lot of stuff that's ostensibly supposed to break you of this idea of you can put reality in a box and know it and explain it.
On another level, part of the issue becomes a certain level of, and the internet is great for this, that level of protective irony of, it's like, well, nothing makes sense, so I don't have to actually believe or support anything that I say, and my ideas can just be whatever I want them. And if I get called out on it, I can just sort of, I can attempt to sidestep it on the grounds of, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, which absolutely is not kind of, the point either. I mean, yeah, you can't really know if things are 100% true or the way things are and everything like that's the case, but it doesn't mean one that there isn't anything real or true. It's just more that through your, human monkey perspective, even if you're right, you can't 100% know you're correct.
Yeah, and you can't get the full picture.
Exactly. And just, to go be able to get through your life and everything, like you do need to at least kind of consider some things as being real and true. But the thing is, don't get so concrete and dogmatic with it that when whatever you're talking about is challenged, you can't, with like new information, you can't change that. You can have, to be a human, you need to have like beliefs and everything, or at least, big assumptions on how things work. You can have ideas about things, but still have reality be malleable like that at the
Yeah,
same
it's
time.
against totalizing ideas about existence and reality. It's about dogmatism. It's about being able to say that any particular idea you have that you subscribe to is a temporary or in some way contingent or contextual sort of thing, as opposed to, yeah, this is how it is 100% of the time. And it's in our day and age, right? That sounds like that's a really trite sort of idea. Everyone gets told all up and down over and over again that everyone's got their own perspective. Things are different. You have to be able to look at the bigger picture, yada yada. We get told these things from the time you're like 10. It's something that we don't.
Very easy to say, really hard to do.
Right, yeah, we pay lip service to these ideas, and most of the time we can even convince ourselves that we're always open to new perspective and ideas. But in practice, it seems that most of us live in a big bubble, and you can't really get out of it unless you spend a lot of time paying attention to it. And that's fine. It's, in fact, I don't even think that anyone within the Discordian movement would say something like, oh yeah, it's bad that you wake up every day and assume that your pants are still going to be there when you wake up.
I have at least 5 stories that deal with that exact problem. How much time do we
I
have?
routinely fall asleep in my pants. I know where those fuckers are.
Got them on lock. Oh yeah, but they wouldn't tell you that these things are like detrimental to your life. The problem becomes, especially when you are someone that has these sort of Discordian beliefs or presenting it as Discordianism, is that when you live in a worldview where you think, where your little bubble, you have your little bubble like everyone else does, but you think that you have gotten outside of the bubble and you're seeing it how it really fucking is, you usually start saying ridiculous and stupid fucking nonsense. You know who else has that kind of position? It's like Alex Jones.
Ascended Master.
Right,
Wait,
Ascended
no.
Master.
No. I will go back to the old Principia Discordia adages about ideas about like dogmas and catmas. It's an old silly joke at this point.
Yeah.
But it still makes sense though, because like dogmas, if you have those, think of it like a dog. It's very loyal. It's always by your side and everything like that. It'll always be with you. And people find that comforting, just like with their ideas of the world and stuff. And they don't like to let those go. That's why. But then there's the idea of catmas, which is, oh, it might be nice. It's sitting on your lap. Oh, I like this idea and everything. But every once in a while, it'll just freak out and fucking attack you and run away. So,
God forbid when you call it when you need it most, and it's just going to stare at you as you're bleeding out on the kitchen floor. Please, please,
yeah.
Whiskers, please go get help. Sorry.
No, no, no. But like, that's sort of the idea, I suppose, like, Discordian idea on that. If, and I hate saying that too, because that makes me sound like there's like actual, like,
Well, it's the problem of
rules
it's
to this, but
right. Well, it's the problem of language, right? It's because you're
exactly.
trying to convey an idea, but it's like any way you try to convey it messes up what you're
Well,
actually trying to say
and
anyway.
here's where I can interject about the relationship of Discordianism and chaos magic, right? Chaos magic, people love to fall back on the idea of nothing is true, everything is permitted. So the minute that you tell anybody like what they're doing is dumb or why it's dumb or why it could possibly be detrimental to what they're doing, then they can bristle and be like, no, you can't tell me, it's chaos magic. You can't tell me what to do. And Discordianism is in a way sort of in that same boat where it's like if you tell somebody, hey, listen, the way that you have taken these notions and applied them to your life has just made you like a corny, edgy, like dweeb, and you're maybe you should take a step back and think about what the fuck you're talking about. And then they're like, well, who, oh great, this is the guy that wants to tell me about Discordianism. Oh boy, I'm also a pope, buddy.
Yeah, though, I mean, you're not wrong, but I think that more of the way, instead of bristling if people say that, like, oh, like you're getting all weird with this, if you're actually, if you're actually trying to go with the whole, Discordian current, it would be more just like your answer would be like, yep, I'm being real fucking silly with this.
Yes,
And
exactly.
like, honestly, like, I got it right here. There's a section on the occult in the Principia Discordia. I'll read this little bit here. Magicians, especially since the Gnostic and Kabbalah influences, have sought higher consciousness through the assimilation and control of universal opposites, good and evil, positive and negative, male and female, etc. But due to the steadfast pomposity of ritual inherited from the ancient methods of the shaman, occultists have been blinded to what is perhaps the two most important pairs of apparent or earth plane opposites: order and disorder, and serious and humorous. Honestly, I work that a lot into my stuff all the time too. I'm fine with it being silly sometimes, even if I think what I'm doing is fucking and I don't mean like I'm trying to, I'm gonna do some ritual to make something goofy happen. I don't mean that. I mean like in regular everyday stuff, like having that polarity there is not only, like good mentally, but I think it kind of helps a lot of the time too. It gets rid of one of those attachments of like, I'm a serious magician trying to do this stuff. You know what? Sometimes you're a silly guy playing with candles. And
Yes.
I think that once you can kind of, like accept that and get over that sort of thing, I think it actually opens you up to being able to do better magic and more
Because
stuff.
you're not hung up
Yeah,
on it.
you're not hung up on it. Oh, is what I'm doing silly? Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, be okay with that if that's the case.
It stops the ego trip, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, and that's something that, especially as someone that I get it. I'm for a lot of people, I'm probably a very stuck up seeming magician, right? Oh, he doesn't like pop culture magic. Oh, he complains about things like Cartesianism. Like I'm a big stuffy fucking so and so for magic, even if I'm not one of those people that's like, well, in the
You're
key of
well,
honoris, it says,
well, the
you know,
problem is you're the stuck up so and so that like hates the other stuck up so and so's, so you're worse.
but again,
Ooh,
one of the
look at
it's
me with my doctorate and thesis, and I translated this grimoire, and then you're like, I fucking hate this guy.
but my point being is that I completely agree that there's a big problem of like being a stuck up so and so, being like a stuffy robe type, or being like I'm a super special snowflake magician that every time you're doing a working, it has to be like this big spiritual thing where you get to feel good about yourself, you learn some message about the universe, when sometimes you're just, like you said, you're just playing with candles in the dark with your wizard hat on, and I'm swinging a sword around and I'm saying like, come on, bring me a really good pasta dinner tonight, and I'm gonna get goofy with it. The idea that you can balance the humorous and the absurd with the very high-minded and transcendent. I think it's a very powerful idea.
So here's my answer to that too, is that on a certain level, I think that, like, example, what Cios does, where he leaves stuff out and finds like notes and things like that, and puts copies of the books and pamphlets and leaves Pope cards around. There's certain people that have not heard that message yet, can be really helpful to them because it can break them out of the not
The
even 'cause
Matrix.
yeah, I can break them out and bust them out from the matrix. They see through the technology. No, but there's people that are open to those kinds of possibilities that don't have the means or the method or the understanding to realize that they're even in a box, you know? And those people can get that dose of chaos that's going to fuck them up a little bit, and they're like, "Oh man, there was all this going on that I wasn't aware of." Chaos magic can do the same thing. But the problem is that there are people who will take that are just never they were quite possibly never going to be able to do anything good with it, or there's people that have been in that area, that end of the pendulum swing for so long that they don't have they don't have the balance between serious and humorous, because all they've got is humor. All they've got is like I said, that insulating protective irony that lets them keep making jokes about, oh no, you can't have a hot dog bun on Friday, and they're going to say that over and over again for the rest of their fucking life. And they're not going to realize that their answer was like you said at the beginning, it's just, and they went like, oh man, the media is lying to us about this and this. So obviously the answer is, anytime the media says anything, I just don't believe them. So they saw that, they were like, oh man, the world isn't white, it must be black. The inability to find that balance is what fucks up people on both ends. Even now, I'm being a little hypercritical of myself in the back of my head, thinking, man, do I take myself too seriously? The answer is yes. Gotta go put I'm gonna have to go put like a blow up doll or something on my altar now. Bring myself down a peg, saying, "Behold, your yogini."
Unless anyone else has something else they want to say, I think that's a good segue, because we get to talk about someone who does take themselves way too seriously.
Who's that?
Well, this is a banish with laughter, where we find goofy things on the internet involving occultists or occult adjacent people, and have a little gawk at it, a little ha, look at this person. And I'm just gonna say, we had a crazy person like assault our inbox. So
Well, where to start with this one?
On a magical Facebook page? No.
All right. So if you know of anything about the Chaos Magic News social media, we like to post a spicy meme every now and then to give you a little bit of a chuckle and try to drag you in to listen to the podcast. That's kind of what we do.
Did it get you here?
That's how I found you.
Yeah.
It's working.
It's working. And then you end up on the show, and then we're just friends. We're just at your apartment, sitting on your couch, asking you what you're making for dinner. So we posted a real stupid meme, right? It just
Cios, that was your cue to tell us what we're having, but okay.
Cold Chef Boyardee raviolis.
From the can.
It's a sad life.
So, all right. I posted a stupid meme, and it's just like a guy getting hit on the back by a book that says modern occultism, and when he's throwing up, it says like, my friends, my dad's love, my self-respect. Right? It's a very dumb meme. This is a stupid
classic.
fucking meme. Yeah, this is a stupid fucking thing. So this genius, this paragon of wisdom, responded with, actually, if not for the wisdom I've earned in the mystery, I wouldn't have been able to get my dad to open up at all. Y'all are doing it wrong.
Okay, I saw this initial comment. I saw the first one.
So I jokingly respond, as you would, how's the romantic partner? Because that was another one of the things that in the meme it said, is that having a romantic partner. So I thought that was very funny, and I reacted their comment. What I didn't notice is that they had also already responded to their own comment saying, that's what I thought, ... Cowards, the lot of you.
What?
which is a great sign, but I didn't actually see that one. But what they responded with after I said, how's the romantic partner? They said, unless we're talking about the one I told, quote unquote, you're dead to me and passed away 9 months later. So obviously we're dealing with a very stable individual right here. But buckle up, folks, because we're not done yet. After I saw that, I was thinking, well, you know what? I'm gonna go about my day. I have other things to do. The response we got was into our inbox was hey man, what's so funny? And he had screenshotted the laugh react we had done to his comment. I said I thought it was an amusing response. Why? And he said, and I quote, well, you asked about my love life. Xena is still a very important part of my life. And cursing her to death was a huge learning experience.
Okay, I'm just gonna pause right there because, like, imagine you kill somebody. Imagine you kill somebody and then you refer to them as a learning experience. And this was somebody that you used to be in love
Was
with.
this Xena spelled like warrior princess or Xena like LeVay?
Like LeVay.
Okay.
Oh, wait, maybe this is like a reincarnation situation.
Oh my God.
Is she dead?
No,
No.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Xena Shrek's
well, it
still
doesn't
alive.
work.
Stanton.
He doesn't know. He thinks she died.
Okay, but also, consider all of what you just said, but also consider that you're now telling somebody on a random Facebook page because they said something about that.
Because they laugh reacted to your dumb shit.
I said, I informed them that I wasn't seriously asking you about their relationship. It was supposed to be a humorous response because, the memes. And then I said, have a good one, man. Because I didn't want to encourage this person to keep talking to me at this point.
Yeah.
But
I'm guessing that didn't work.
oh yeah.
That was your mistake.
That was my
Like,
mistake.
you can't be like, have a good one. Yeah. The only thing you could have said was nothing. And that still might not have stopped him.
Are you guys ready for the response?
Are you going to read it?
Breath.
Do you want to read it? Do you want to read it with the whiny voice?
With the whiny voice.
You know the one. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh boy. All right, fine. All right. Here was the response. Cue the I'm gonna need like symphony music in the background. when
Right,
you go
yeah, we'll
back to
have
edit
we'll
this.
have the
All right.
music.
Yeah, man. Have fun with your lackluster spiritualism and your inability to use the wisdom you earn to build instead of destroy. I assert, again, you're doing it wrong. If the meme you shared is legitimately real for you, you are severely failing yourself and your loved ones. And don't think this is coming from a place of anger. No, sheer disgust. Keep playing, laughing boy. Keep taking your journey in jest. Watch nothing change. See day by day as you stagnate and the sources of love in your life rot away. Shrug emoji. That's your choice. That's your failure. And it's apparent to anyone who puts in the work. Have fun.
And then immediately blocked us.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think you guys might be dead in 9 months after that.
I know. I'm
Oh,
so
man.
scared.
Wow.
God. See, that guy needs some Discordianism in his life, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
no,
that guy-
no, don't invite him. Don't invite him. I'm gatekeeping right now. As Pope, he's not allowed.
Excommunicated before you even get in.
Already excommunicated.
I don't know how you gonna hate from outside the church. You can't even get in.
Oh man.
That's I think generally just as you get more eyes on you, because our social media presence is growing little by little all the time, and it's just you can tell whenever a meme does well, more nutters show up because it's like just by 10% of everybody are nutters. So you get more people, you're going to have more nutters. That's just how it goes. But I think that's the first time somebody like messaged us. And this guy doesn't know about the podcast. This guy doesn't know anything about us. He doesn't realize that it's multiple people running the social media page or anything like that. So it's just, this is somebody who is just hollering at a stranger about something that they don't know anything about.
All I'm going to tell you is that this person led with, actually, my dad does love me because of occultism, which should be your immediate red flag anyway. Like, what the fuck is that?
How do you need like the help of the mysteries to make your dad open up? You want to watch wrestling? That's all you got to say.
Men
Hey,
will
Dad,
do anything
wanna
to
watch some
avoid going to
wrestling?
therapy.
The other thing is, I'm trying to remember the story, but I have a feeling we're all familiar with it. Do you know the one where it's the Buddhist monk who believes he's perfected his enlightenment, and he writes this big diatribe and says something like, "The 8 winds cannot move me," and he sends it to one of his friends across the lake, and he reads it, and he just writes back the word "fart" and sends it to him.
Is this real?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, no. Well, so what happens is he sees this guy wrote "fart." Hey, what's the bin? He goes across the lake and he's like, "What's the big idea?" And he's like, "Well, the 8 winds couldn't move you, but one fart will send you across the lake." And at that moment, he was enlightened. It's like that. That's the story. It's like that's the thing. It's making the point. Well, it's making
Wait
the
a
point
minute,
of like
time out. Because so many koans and so many stories in Zen and the Chan tradition have like and then he was enlightened at the end of the story. Is that just like and then everybody clapped thing for like Chan and
and
Zen
then everybody
Buddhism?
farted.
Oh man.
Oh boy, professional podcasting. Sorry. But no, that's genuinely what it makes me think. It's like when somebody and anybody wants to talk to you, and I don't know this guy from Adam. I don't know his life. I don't know if he's having a rough one.
I know his dad loves him
because of the Enochian angels.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
And he killed that girl, and he killed a woman.
He bragged about it. But the point being that if you are somebody who thinks that your level of spiritual attainment is so great, yet you are feeling compelled to holler at a random stranger online and type out something that can be so easily mocked, maybe it's time to have a little bit of self-reflection. Maybe.
Nah.
Please send us another message and we'll read it again. We're petty.
Become a regular segment.
It's just, I mean, like, I understand in a certain sense, it's very petty. It's like, oh, hey, someone sent me a big stupid message and told me I sucked. Like, but it's so
I didn't
funny
say
to
his
me
name. I didn't say his name and say he lives at 3103 Black
Cane
Ridge
Lane,
Drive at, and the whatever the fuck.
in bumfuck Utah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say go bully this guy or call him names or ask if his dad has love for other people. Who knows? But like, I didn't say any of that. And if anybody goes to the page to try to bother this guy, you're an asshole. Like, it just, he's a nut. But it's wild.
It's just a type of edginess that, like, you don't see that much of that in the internet today. You know what I mean? Like in the early 2000s,
opinionated and loony people. No, they're all over the internet.
No, I meant people that are like, I killed my girlfriend. I'm a real badass. You know what I mean? Like this guy's like Navy SEAL copy pasta in my mind, right?
What did you say to me, you little shit? I'll have you know that I got the 9th degree from Israel Regardi from the California OTO. I have been involved in multiple sex magic rituals and have taken many lives. Right now, the secret chiefs are broadcasting your location to me as we speak. Oh, shit.
All right, so I think that's your Banished with Laughter segment. That's
Oh boy, what a tool. Looking forward to somebody telling him that we read. Actually, no, because we're gonna make that a clip of just me read. It's just me just me reading the last comment with the music, and we'll put it as a clip, and maybe he'll see it.
And as they said, you shouldn't go after this guy and bully him or anything. But if you want to, get his docs by signing up for the Patreon and give him $5.
Hound dog, what's up? What's up? And what if I rub your belly? What if I just rub your belly till we stop recording? Will that... Okay, we can try. Okay, so we're going to do the news.
Yeah. It's now time for everyone's favorite segment, the part where we ask...
Bring back the symphony.
Oh, God.
No, it's fine.
What's in the
Your
Oh,
dog's
God,
in the
don't-
background making noise.
don't
That's going to be so
you-
great. No, because I'm still going to put it in there because it's going to sound weird as fuck. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this?
It's the...
When that pitches down, it's going to sound like the devil laughing behind you going, news.
There was reports of barking from Malik's apartment, but no dog food, no dishes.
I get the reference.
The polarity of serious and humor.
What's in the news, indeed? Well, I don't know. Do we just start with the Ukraine Trump thing? Do we just go with that first because it's the easy one?
Yeah, don't record your ceasefire negotiations.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? That was absolutely
Why the
nuts.
fuck would you do that, bro? It's like it's because he's I don't remember who said it, but somebody was like, you have to remember that Trump's chief function is to be an inciter of spectacle. So like, of course he has to have that on camera. Of course he has to do that. It's like shit like that has definitely happened under other administrations, but they're interested in being like the polite veneer of imperialism. But Trump is interested in being the loud, bold face of spectacle. So this is what you get. But now we have the leader of the free world going, I want an apology too. Fuck. What the fuck is the matter with you?
You got Vice President Boss Baby next to him.
Yeah,
That's what he looks like to me.
It's
The
interesting.
baby with a beard.
It's such an interesting counterpoint, right? Because like when Pence was vice president, he was viewed as like a Trump stupid lackey and stuff, but he had like a much different sort of. He didn't see.
No, he was viewed as like Emperor Palpatine because remember he was so down with conversion camps, and they were showing the memes of him shooting electricity from his hand.
Oh, I don't actually
Vance
remember
did
this.
was-
No.
Man, am I the only one that remembers it? Did I dream this? Maybe I saw him on the. I saw
Memes that
Pence
would
on
have
the
been good 8 years ago.
I saw Pence on the astral plane, and that's how he looked.
The best description I ever heard of Pence was a living, clear gummy bear. That's just.
I think you guys are completely. The problem is that a jalapeno doesn't seem that spicy when you put them next to a ghost pepper. All right. Like Pence is still evil.
Well, I'm not
was
saying he's not. I'm just saying that the relationship that Pence and Vance have to Trump is very different because like Pence seemed like a stupid lackey, but Vance seems like the kind of like he looks like he literally carries around the piss bucket for Trump. You know what I mean? Like he seems like he's there to be the eternal bitch boy. Like, oh look what Mr. Trump want. Look, isn't Mr. Trump great? Like he's like literally that kid. It's stupid.
I
don't know.
honestly think he was probably playing it up a little bit because he's jealous of actual Vice President Elon. So that's all
And
it
I'm
was.
And I'm here too. He's got middle child syndrome.
Yeah.
Elon. It's always Elon. No, my problem is that he definitely gives me like Black Adder vibes. Like he's like somehow he's got some scheme in the back where he's like he just falls down one flight of stairs. He just falls down one fucking flight of stairs.
I think he totally did this because
in.
I think he did this because he wants to be president, and like I don't think it's unheard of. He might be the president next time. Like that's a possibility.
He has nobody actually likes. I mean, I don't know
feel
how
like-
people like Trump, but nobody likes JD Vance.
Well, they like him because they got told to like him.
Right.
Like,
That's
what do you
what I was
mean?
about to say. I think they
I
like him.
forgot he was vice president the first few weeks. He don't.
Oh boy.
I was like,
Well-
oh shit, that's right. He's in office too. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
You never hear
Um,
anybody talking about the asshole.
Well, there was the big spiel where he went over to Europe and was like, "You guys are censoring the far right and you hate democracy." And then, like, Germany just looked at him like, "What the fuck is this is really what you guys are doing? You're coming over to lecture us about democracy? What the fuck?"
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
don't
You
know.
guys got to realize that it's not a bit when I say I get a lot of my news from you guys, so I might just be kind of rolling with stuff.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no! No,
We have no
no.
room to talk about an informed electorate if this is where you guys are getting your news.
Okay, no, but away from the spectacle of the whole thing itself, like, what do we think that this is actually going to amount to? Because
Ukraine's going to give Russia whatever they want because they're not going to be able to sustain it.
yeah,
what are
like
you
this
talking
was,
about?
I thought that was the inevitable end of this anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
If you
like,
don't have if America isn't going to throw their weight behind them in a proxy war, they really don't stand much of a chance.
well, I mean, I think we already lost the proxy war. We might have been able to win if we had committed things like way long time ago. If we hadn't been dealing with, I guess whatever the fuck you want to call the last like 6 years of American politics in general, if we hadn't been dealing with that while the Ukraine fiasco was happening to begin with, maybe we could have dealt with this in a diplomatic way that wasn't going to end in this. But I think Ukraine's fucked. Like, it's just Russia's just taking
not gonna
whatever
be
it
like-
wants at this point.
They're not gonna. I mean, it's not like they're gonna get wiped off the face of the map.
No, but they're
like,
losing. They're losing some
territory.
shit. Yeah, they're gonna
It's
be
gonna be
smaller.
bad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like not even necessarily just to Russia too. I mean, like the whole thing with like all the like we'll help you if you give us like your like mineral rights.
Mm-hmm.
You want us to help you from getting taken over by this guy? Well, give us the stuff that he's trying to take.
Well,
I mean,
that's what I was
there's
about
really
to.
no like win in any of this.
Yeah, you know what? And that's what I was gonna say is that because and I had heard that, but I hadn't confirmed it. I guess as best I could, but I had heard that the vast majority of the mineral rights were in areas that the Russians were trying to take. And I was like, so he's trying to be like, yeah, we'll save you if you give us the shit that they want.
Give us the
anyway.
spoils of war, and like you get to live.
Here's the thing, though. You don't think that the U.S. was already like eyeing those anyway? Like, you don't think that the Biden administration was like, oh yeah, we definitely got to get those so we can get those mineral rights?
No. Because the thing I was saying is, it's like seriously, like rewind this to say this was going on, everything more or less the same, but like Obama's president, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are like that's the same plan that would have been like the same offer on the table of like, well, you need to. We're going to help finance this and keep Russia out and try to push them out.
But we're taking your
But
minerals.
You're gonna fork over your resources. Yeah, tit for tat.
It wouldn't have been on camera.
It wouldn't have been on
It wouldn't
camera.
have been Obama emasculating this guy before the public.
Yeah. But spectacle. That's all it comes down to. Spectacle.
There's a society of that, I hear.
Yeah. And on another hand, it's just I can't help but feel like this is Peter Carroll's fault.
Where are the Knights of Chaos?
Yeah,
Where
man.
are they? You guys were supposed to, but instead, Alexander Dugin put up his entire auric egg around the entire nation and just said, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Plus ratioed plus black logos, and like all of your sigils bounced the fuck off. Where were you guys?
Oh man. God, it is weird as hell to have to look at, like, you know what I mean? Like,
When people talk about like, oh, if Magick is such a big deal and so important and stuff like that, how come it's not world leader? And then it's like you remember John D. And then you think about weird shit like, Ronald Reagan's astrologer who was a woo-woo who probably had an insane amount. And then you have Alexander not so secret Thelemite. You can find him doing readings and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pretend I wasn't a Thelemite Dugin.
Yeah.
Who is definitely still a Thelemite.
Yeah. Well, use the Chaos Star for a Eurasian banner.
Yeah. That man, look, I'm telling you, when Dugan's going to be happy? When Russia has Boleskine.
Oh, God.
You see, Horus, the Egyptian
Horus
hawk-headed god.
Oh, this is just going to turn into Zizek.
Okay.
Say Horparkrat is the god of silence and so on.
So
on,
you see,
on,
it's
but
the negative dialectic of the
dialectic,
hadith and the wheat.
the polarities that create the electrical charge of the kalas,
Can we just do a whole
which is
show of that?
typified in
Just a whole show of just doing the Zizek impression and reading whatever occult book we
the
have.
Typhonian trilogies.
Drill.
I am ready to sell my mother into slavery for a new Typhonian trilogy.
Okay, all
Come
right.
see me next week at the fuck, god damn it.
Now that's turning into
Jimmy
Yakov
Carter
Smirnoff,
Playhouse, motherfucker.
the Jimmy Page Playhouse.
Page.
But I also love that was definitely turning into like Yakov Smirnoff. You see- in Soviet Russia, you are the
All is
will is
for the
under
law.
you. Oh man, and a famous Ukrainian, Yakov Smirnoff, and we've come full circle.
Right. Okay. Well, next up on the docket, what do we have? Well, I guess we'll get the other Trump news, but this is a slightly different type of Trump news. Shit, I don't have the article. CS, what was it? The Trump coin lost how much?
$12 billion.
12.
That's
I got it right here.
That's right, Hound Dog. Our life savings are gone.
What the hell, man? Like, isn't it funny? Like, I said it earlier when ironically when I shared a meme with Trump in it, but it's the Dr. Christopher Hyatt thing of if you say the most obvious thing that's gonna happen 1/4 of the time, they'll think you're psychic.
They'll think you're a miracle worker. If you can do it half of the time, they'll think you're a god.
Yeah. It's like what the Trump coin lost a ridiculous amount of money. Oh my god, I can't
Who
believe
could
it.
have seen it coming? Yeah, it's literally just that. And I understand that there are certain individuals who are indeed making a good buck off of crypto trading and stuff like that. I feel like the vast majority of these things are you know what? I was talking to my old man the other day, and he mentioned a trader from right before the Great Depression who pulled all of his money out right before the crash, or most of his money at least. And he said that what motivated him was that he was on the elevator and he saw one elevator attendant talking to like another elevator attendant about what stocks to buy. And he was like, oh my God, there are too many people and there are too many amateurs that have no idea what's going on. Something is about to really burst. That's what I feel with most crypto, is that it's like a lot of folks that just don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they see dumb shit like that, and then they throw their money in it, and then it's like, oh no, I got suckered.
Well,
I never thought it would happen to me.
I definitely think there are people that do know what they're doing in this, and it's these people that are making these pump and dump scams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's it mean when the
it's
fucking
just-
president of the United States has one, though? That's a big fucking problem.
Well, nothing he does, he can't be held accountable for anything he does. He just has to somehow justify it as an official act, and then it's like, it's fine. He says, listen, I'm giving the money to Ukraine, all right?
I can't find the quote right now, but one of the most ridiculous things about it was like, I think it was like the guy who, like, one of the guys who kind of like runs the meme coin company. It was like something.fun or whatever, was in the most obvious quote ever, he said something along the lines of, and the worst part about this is all the money that got lost. It's like, well, yeah. Like,
I'm sorry, what?
What the fuck? After the dramatic loss of life, bystanders were quoted saying, well, the worst part is all the people that died.
What the actual fuck, man?
Well, at least now Trump and the Hawk Tuah girl have two things in common.
Oh man. Well, we need some good news. Where can we possibly find some good news? Ironically enough, I think in the same place we found it the last time we had something that I was like, this is like, everybody likes this. So let's go back. Luigi Mangione.
Woo!
Yay, Luigi. Don't we love him, folks? Are you the best? Are you the best little CEO murderer? I'll just read the headline. It says here, it says, lawyer of Luigi Mangione says murder suspect's rights were violated in McDonald's arrest. The long story short of this is that he's trying to get key evidence thrown out because of the illegal happenings. He wasn't read his rights, and there's some other fuck ups, but basically improper procedure followed.
Are they really about to get him on the? Are they really about to get him on like? Oh, I didn't get read my Mirandas.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little
kind of, yeah.
What kind of cop show like Law and Order bullshit is that? It's like, oh man, we didn't read his Mirandas. That means we got to let him go. He's literally covered in the blood from the guy. I don't make the rules, McCoy. We got to let him leave.
That's not the way we do things here in Altoona, Pennsylvania, home of the world's greatest pizza.
I'm not worried about this. If he got off because of some fucking evidence shit being thrown out, I would applaud it, you know?
No, well, here's what I'll say is that if they acted illegally, then the proper enforcement of the law would be to not be able to admit the evidence, right?
Yeah, you know, if they broke
really
the law, that's,
saying,
you know.
Yeah, so really what you're saying is that if you care about the law, like, then you should want justice to be served, and that means having a fair trial and everything else, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
I don't have to condone anything that this man did.
Yeah,
but he
it's
deserves
not about
a fair.
that.
He deserves a fair trial.
It's better that a million
guilty
men go free than one innocent man go to prison. You know, right?
Exactly.
So,
and also, like, what kind of person writes a confession where he thanks the officers?
I mean, that's
like.
Oh, was that a thing?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm just saying, it's like there is. If somebody told me that they didn't believe that note was real, I'd be like, yeah, I can totally see why. Because it just sounds a little wild, you know. It's
I
like,
will at least say that I think Luigi has presented himself pretty much how from the start of this to where we are now in
as
the
like
same capacity.
As like a what you mean as like an Abercrombie and Finch model?
Pretty much.
I saw him in the courtroom with a Gucci belt on. Oh shit,
no shirt on.
Oh God. Man, if he didn't wear a shirt, the jury selection would get really tight. I'll say that much.
Oh my
be
God.
like, fuck.
Okay. So hopefully that
He's already apparently had enough of a problem with too many people sending him sexy pictures.
And everyone,
too,
I don't have time to look at every one of you. I'm so sorry. You're all beautiful. Peace and love. Please stop sending me the.
They're all going in the bin. Peace and love, but they're going in the bin. But no, for real. I think I've said it before. When this happened, it's like no moral statement at all here. We always have had a fascination with outlaws, especially ones that we can, at least in some form or fashion, view actions as if not justifiable, understandable.
I think he's already become the Pretty Boy Floyd fucking type character that I said he was going to become too. I think we all, everyone can agree
absolutely
with that. He's it. There's going to be biopics of this guy in like 10 years, maybe even quicker. There's already a documentary, right? Who would play him? I don't know. It would have to be someone younger, right? Like, so
Timothée Chalamet.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. There we go. Cool. Paramount, get at us. We already got the script.
And then you have he just opens with a Bob Dylan song, and then oh yeah, here comes the story of the hurricane. Yeah, that'd be perfect. There you go. For something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been. There you go. And then you do. So then you got the Bob Dylan, Timothée Chalamet, Luigi, Kevin Bacon somewhere in there. It's going to be perfect.
Dead.
What?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's dead.
No, he isn't.
No.
You killed Kevin Bacon?
I hope not.
For the show?
I hope not. Wait, no, okay, no. Kevin Bacon's still alive. Who am I thinking of that's dead?
Say 9 months ago, he sent a scathing Facebook message to Kevin Bacon. Now he's dead.
How dare you? Oh, Gene Hackman died. You guys hear about that?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's a whole.
They found his wife and his dog.
Yeah.
And
they said it wasn't a gas leak. Apparently,
carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
Too either.
Yeah. So what do you think it
sorry.
was?
My hound dog is very upset about the loss of Gene Hackman. I know, honey. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna watch Superman later.
Loved him as the blind man in Young Frankenstein.
Me, a blind, you a
man.
mute.
I was gonna make espresso.
I was gonna make espresso. Baby, I know you're upset. I know you're upset about it. I'm sorry. But yeah, I got a lot of fucking questions about that. If it wasn't carbon monoxide, like, what kills a man, a wife, and a dog, and does it have a hook for a hand?
Yeah, it's actually kind of odd. I mean, I guess, like, in theory, his wife dies, and then Gene has a no. I think in theory the dog dies, right?
The dog dies first?
Dog dies. It's a dog. Dogs just die sometimes, right? It's a dog. Dog dies, and it breaks Gene Hackman's wife's heart.
Okay.
And she's so heartbroken that she fucking dies. And then Gene, overcome with grief from his dog and his wife dying, has a massive heart attack and dies as well.
The oldest person there by 30 years is the last one to die.
He outlives them both. Oh man, that's why it's so heartbreaking.
Wow.
Literally.
It's like having to bury your child, except that she was probably younger than his child. That's a shit joke. I'm sorry.
I don't know who Gene Hackman's wife is. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to the Hackman family. You're not like the Carters. I don't think you're like evil.
No, not that I know of. It's just it's a very strange one, and it sort of has me going like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell happens with that?
You're gonna find out that there's like a parasite in the water that like will kill you or some shit like that. So then it'll be, not only did famous actor and beloved figure Gene Hackman and his family died, but now also you don't get to drink water anymore because you might die.
That seems to be the way the world's going.
Kind of. What else we got? Cios, I bet you have this headline too, because I think you're the one who shared it originally. Ban on weather alteration practices.
Yes.
Do you have the article up?
Yeah, I do.
Read that headline for me, if you don't mind.
Proposed weather control ban surges across the U.S. Fake stories that atmospheric experiments are triggering natural disasters have led to U.S. states pushing blanket bans on weather modification, which experts say may jeopardize current local scientific programs and hinder future research. Yeah, basically, with all the bad weather going on from, totally not climate change.
Definitely.
They decide that the only logical conclusion is that it is
Cobra's
chemtrails.
weather dominator.
Man, you see, I'm still doing the bid. Fine.
Go ahead.
Because I also have the I have the article right here, and I can see the part where it said, when asked for comment, Cobra Commander responded with, "This ban is unjust and despicable." And then gestured at his
Commander, Serpentor, lizard people. David Icke's been telling us this the whole time.
Oh my God. Now, here's my problem, is that this isn't going to stop me with my weather manipulation, because the U.S. government refuses to acknowledge the existence of orgone. So I'm just shooting that shit up in the atmosphere all day. I don't care if the hurricane destroys your condo.
We are cloud busting.
You should have thought about that before you put Reich in prison, assholes.
I don't think there's anything actually going on at the moment, but there is, because of all the crazy weather. The article says, like, actual experiments they're wanting to do to, like cloud seeding kind of stuff, like wanting to make it rain in certain areas.
They're going to ban the geoengineering technology that might be able to offset some of the effects of climate change.
Exactly. Because they think that George Soros is sending hurricanes to the south.
Right, yeah. They're thinking that the ocean is rising in Florida and destroying property because, like,
Aquaman and his telekinetic powers.
It's just Al Gore and Tipper Gore and Hillary Clinton all standing at the North Pole with hair dryers.
What's that conspiracy of, like, called it's like open disclosure or something like that, where they have to tell you what they're doing?
Oh, right. Yeah, that like where you have to they present what they're doing in the media. It's like, look, if you take a look at the movies and the television, they're showing you. It's like they live.
See, The Simpsons
Hold
predicted
that off for the Bobby
9/11.
Hemmitt segment.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah. But yeah, that's the idea. Somebody saw the Weather Dominator and was like, oh, I know what they're doing.
Jesus, man.
But no, it was Al Gore
Well-
saying the oceans are gonna rise. I'm like, that they're telling you the plan.
They're worried about all this stuff and everything and all the experiments. If we're gonna, try to take this back from an occult perspective here, they could have just looked in the good old Picatrix for some weather manipulation magic. And I happen to have found a pretty good one in here that I think that, the United States should give a shot.
Oh, lay it on us.
From book 4 of the Picatrix, spell 21, we have here, when clouds approach looking like they might carry hail, and one wishes to defend crops from the hailstorm, assemble many associates, some who should carry silk in their hands, and some who should go to the field carrying nothing. Make them throw the silk bit by bit towards the clouds, and make others without the silk walk around clapping their hands and palms. Make everyone keep shouting in a loud voice like farmers do when they want to drive off birds and evil beasts. Make them do this many times. Make sure that those associates be even in number. Very important. And the more numerous they are, the better. This has been tested and found to be very true. So I say we just do that.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Does it
Real
ban
quick,
spell
do
work
you-
in the bill?
Probably
Pardon?
no, because the government refuses to acknowledge orgone, and the government refuses to acknowledge magic, so they can't stop
you're right.
us.
Yeah, you're right. They can't stop us.
Okay, for some reason I thought you were gonna go like have them chant "Rain, rain, go away, come again another day."
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit, I bookmarked the wrong page. You're right.
Oh man, well it reminded me of and I don't have the source for this. It's just something that's gotten repeated, so it might be one of those goofy lies that the internet tells. The internet lies to you sometimes, folks.
Well, it's fun
but
to
not us.
lie.
It is fun to lie. There's some version of and I'm sure this isn't like the actual spell, but essentially what you do is that it's you take a bucket of water when it hasn't rained in a while. You get a bucket of water, you throw it on the ground and look up at the sky and say something to the effect of, "See, it isn't that hard."
Oh yeah, I think that's like an African sort of thing. Don't quote me on that. It might not be your own saying. An African is sort of a big thing. Africa's a big fucking place. But I think it's an African cultural practice. That's what I seem to remember it being. It's literally like you throw water on the ground and you mock the sky. Like, see, it's not that hard. See, anyway, what's wrong with you? Why don't you get it? Like, come on, why can't you be like
Call
the
the
sun?
clouds a bitch. Say something about the sky's mama. Just going out and playing the dozens until the weather's better.
Oh shit. Okay, just to talk magic for a real
You
quick
want to play
second.
the dozens? The dozens is a game, but when I fuck your mama, I make it rain.
Oh my god. Ugh. Just to talk magic a little bit here. I think there is something very interesting to the magical idea of just dominating something in an anthropomorphic sense. Like just turning something as amorphous as like, oh, well, it's the sky. It's a thing, and I'm going to yell at it for not doing what I want. I think that's really effective. You can do that with all sorts of things.
Name 2 of them.
You can do it with your own emotional responses where you can recognize them and then proceed to mock them for having them. Like, oh, you're super angry about this stupid nonsense that you just did in traffic. Oh, you're real mad that you got
man.
cut off. Wow.
Do y'all know the Don Miguel like 4 agreements type stuff? Like y'all read
I've
any
heard
of that?
of them.
No.
I've not. I don't know them very well.
I'll give you the part of it. It talks about the notion of like parasites, like mind parasites, which but it talks about one of them is referred to as the judge, and then another one's like the victim, and those are like 2 of the big ones. And the victim is the one that's like that's the part of you and that's the idea, is that it's the parasite that feeds off of making you go, oh man, why me? Everything bad happens to me and only me, and this sucks. And one of the recommendations for it is to literally just acknowledge it and then be like, not hearing that right now. Not the time for this. Like just basically seeing that process in your mental makeup and then just being like, nah, I ain't gonna listen to you right now. I got other things to do.
I think that's just the plot to Inside Out.
Oh boy. I'm going to take this back to the headline. I think that there is something to be said about the magic of that ubiquitous thing of the magic of narrative.
Right.
It's to the point of y'all just lied your asses off and told this story and propagandized. And, you know, whenever anybody talks about like, oh man, these stupid idiot hicks that don't want to believe the science, it's like, no, it's not that. It's that there are billion-dollar industries that are actively propagandizing and pushing this narrative that like climate change is a complete sham because it's going to hurt their bottom line. There are people that make a lot of money who don't care that how many people are going to die because it is going to hurt their bottom line. Those are the people you need to be angry with, not the people that you look down your nose at and think are dummies.
Right. And you have to think about it too. Like a lot of times this sort of rural, fucking blue collar reaction towards, the unpleasant reality of climate change is also fed by the fact that the supposed people that cared about climate change, in America at least, the Democratic Party already showed their willingness to like just talk down to them like you were talking about and just think that, oh, you guys are just these dumb fucking hicks consistently. And meanwhile, what did they actually ever do to address climate change? They turned it on to you. It's your fault because you eat too much
you want to
meat.
use
because you use plastic straws.
Yeah. Think of the turtles.
Yeah,
You're selfish and greedy and never don't pay attention to my private jet flight.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't pay attention to the 10 corporations that are responsible for most of the pollution in the world.
Definitely don't pay attention to all of the money that they're giving me
To tell you,
so I can finance my.
Did everyone
Hello?
die?
It did for a second.
I think co-host died.
I think we were getting kind of towards the end of that subject anyway. So
Yeah, I think we can.
I don't know.
I'm
put in
pretty
a note. We were attacked by Caucasian archons. And
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
No, obviously what happened was that I was talking too much truth about the large corporate interests that really don't want you to do anything about climate change. So they had to cut me off. Either that or somebody said your connection is dead to me.
All right. Okay, next one.
Wait,
What
I
else?
just realized something.
What?
When he said 9 months later, was this like a Moonchild thing?
Oh God, I
Was
hope
he like
not.
was he like jacking off and he was like, "You're dead to me"?
Is this guy's screen name Simon If?
If somebody said you're dead to me while you were like trying to do the 9th degree, I think I would actually have no choice but to die.
Of cringe.
There's only 2 ways I'm going out anyway. Cringe is one of them. It's either cringe or death by ecological collapse. So,
Okay.
hey,
What else we got? Any other headlines anyone wants to throw out there?
oh man. I wanted to try to find goofy, like more off the beaten path kind of news headlines. And instead of that, I found I found something from last November that we really should have talked about and we didn't.
Oh.
So I'm going to talk about it anyway. They told insurers a bear damaged their car, but it was actually a person in a costume.
Awesome.
That's right.
The Do it, you remember?
Yeah.
Oh, it said the California department, so maybe it got around more in your state.
Yeah, I think it was kind of Southern California, but up in the hills. Yeah. I kind of remember this.
That's a very SoCal story. Okay, the only thing I'm going to say beyond I'm going to get into this as a magical act because I think this is genius. But I am going to say that there is a picture showing the bear costume in question, and also it appears to be because the claws on the costume are, they're stuffed. They're not real claws. So instead, they have what appears to be a pair of those those like Wolverine claws that you get for like shredding up brisket or not, like shredding up like like when you're smoking meat or something like that and you want to shred your
meat
like
claws.
yeah,
You
whatever.
see cool YouTube chefs using.
Right.
Exactly. It looks like two pairs of those, and notably one of the claws or the teeth of it is broken off.
Wow.
So it broke off in the car. Maybe that's how they got caught. They found it embedded and like, hey, wait a second. This bear had an adamantium skeleton.
This bear was cooking brisket before this.
I can smell the hickory smoked flavor, of course.
Jesus
It
Christ.
says 6-figure payout. Oh my God.
Wow.
They were really going
For getting
for it.
attacked by a
Okay.
bear?
What kind of car was this?
It was called, they called it Operation Bear Claw.
Oh, come the fuck on. This isn't real. This is an Onion headline. What are you talking about? They call it no
clawed up
bear claw.
Oh man. Oh shit. This was the Rajneesh that did this. They clawed up a Rolls Royce.
Wait, what is Rajneesh?
No, that's a joke.
Oh god. Oh,
No, it's just a Rolls Royce. It's a Rolls Royce joke.
I was scared as fuck for it. I'm like, no, what?
Osho comes back from the dead. And he says, yes, I have discovered Spare's process of atavistic resurgences. So I became a bear and I destroyed one of my own cars. Oh my God. Oh man. Oh, dude. So somebody explained to me how this is not unlike the berserkers of the Scandinavian people who would wear bear pelts and consume possibly psychotropic substances to gain the power of the bear. And I'm imagining that is what led to this, where somebody probably got pretty fucking out there and there was like, wait, I've got my fursuit from the club. Let me go fuck up my car. They were like, I'm underwater on this bitch. There's no way I'm getting my money. You can't get even. You're talking $2,000 a month for 28 months. There's no way I'm getting. Actually, a Rolls Royce is probably I don't know how much would a 2010 Rolls Royce cost. Hold on, Jamie, can you pull that up? 28,000. What the hell do you mean? 28,000 to 115,000. That's a lot. There's a lot of wiggle.
What
There's
year
a
did you
lot
look up?
2010.
2010. I have a used one for 89,000.
Why? No, I'm looking at AI answer. Fuck you, Gemini. You don't know shit about shit.
Oh, here's a steal. You can get a 1999 for 36,000. You want a new car?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry.
Unless Osho himself was driving that shit around, I don't want it.
Actually, if he drove it, I'm paying less, right? You're not selling this to anyone else. They're gonna be like, he did what in this car?
Actually, I'm trying to remember. I don't think he had a driver. Like, I distinctly remember
I don't
somebody
think
talking
not
about
having a driver's license.
Well,
is
I don't
gonna
think that was going to
Osho.
stop him, but I think it was something about the Rajneesh fucking like he couldn't actually drive, so he had all these Rolls Royces and he just made other people drive him around. That's another thing. I heard Gurdjieff apparently, despite all of his highfalutin objective consciousness stuff, he said he found driving a car to be impossible, which is like, what? What do you mean?
Possible.
You know what it is? It's because he had a refusal to acknowledge the background understanding of being. He thought you had to be simultaneously aware of everything, and you can't do that when you're driving because you got to just be able to move your foot and go.
Yeah.
I figured it was just hard for him to steer in his bear costume.
Oh,
man.
that's
wow. Well, this is an interesting story. I think we need more deception based acts of magic.
Here's the thing, right? It makes me wonder if anybody ever got away with anything like insurance fraud happens. Fucking up cars, like intentionally destroying stuff and then making it look like an accident. That definitely happens. I think it's actually incredibly hard to pull off, but I'm wondering are there examples of like the big lie, like the outrageous, Bear destroyed this shit. I don't know what to tell you. Is there do you think that's one of those where it's like, that's such a crazy lie that they almost don't question it? Like clearly this person got caught, but how many people were like, "Hey, boo boo, let me get that picnic basket," and then just like caved in their windshield and then got a check?
I was driving through Jellystone National Park, and this bear lied down on the ground, and I drove over him. When I went to see if he was okay, slashed open my car, stole my chicken salad sandwiches.
Here's the thing, right? In today's day and age, I think in the 70s, there's probably a lot more of that shit. I think today, day and age, we have the issue of, they're going to be like, why didn't you pull out your phone and videotape the bear? You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. Because I feel like that is what gets you. If you have something crazy happen to you like that, where a bear attacks your fucking car, and like you
You'd be
see
filming it.
you're filming that shit. Yeah.
My beloved worked in insurance for many a year. I want to ask her opinion. Like, if somebody called you up saying my shit got attacked by a bear, would you be like, and she'd be like, no,
Picture
man,
didn't
deny. She'd be like, delay, deny, depose, or whatever the fuck it is. Okay. And then again, I wanted something that was like, somebody said they saw a ghost, or there was a UFO sighting, or, calf with a funny leg born in this region, local nut with a kooky staff says it means that the world's going to end. Instead, what I found is prosecutor says golden toilet was stolen from English Palace in I'm talking. Stop. Prosecutor says golden toilet was stolen from English Palace in audacious raid.
Golden toilet, you say?
I think that's the first time I've heard the word audacious used in a burglary. Sounds very
The
British.
sheer audacity to break the law. Don't they know that breaking the law is illegal?
So many questions here, though. Like, what's
The crime itself happened in 2019, apparently, but a one-of-a-kind 18-karat gold toilet was swiped from in under 5 minutes from the Belheim Palace, the sprawling English country mansion where British wartime leader Prime Minister Winston Churchill was born. Wait. Where he was
in the toilet?
in the gold toilet? They're like, what the fuck is this? Oh God, I thought I just ate beans.
Well, it makes me. God damn it. No, well, it reminds me of that quote where they were like, Mr. Churchill, you're drunk. And he says, yes, but in the morning I'll be sober and you won't have a gold toilet.
What the fuck? Why does it have a gold toilet? Who the fuck needs that? No one needs that. That's not a thing.
Was it there when he was born? Or like, has this just been here? Did somebody decide, what we need, golden toilet?
Did little Winston Churchill like get potty trained on the golden toilet? Is that what you're telling me? What the fuck is this?
All right, Churchill, you got to be a big, but when he was a boy, he just looked like a pug.
All right, hang on. We're just talking shit about Winston Churchill.
Listen,
hang on.
You Alfred Hitchcock looking motherfucker. I can't believe you won
Imagine
this
him
war.
to have male pattern baldness at like 4.
Oh boy. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So they stole it in under 5 minutes, you say?
Oh, so they caught the guys. They never found the toilet. That means it's still out there.
That shit got melted down and turned into fucking gold bullion, dude.
It's in Fort Knox. Elon's gonna find it.
We're going to find the gold toilets.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. It was 3 guys. Okay, here's what it was the satirical work titled America by Italian conceptual artist Maurizio Catalan.
Oh.
Maurizio Catalan poked fun at excessive wealth. It weighed just over 215 pounds and was insured for 4.8 million. And that's pounds, which is about 6 million American.
Oh, so this was an art piece.
Yeah, because I was about to say,
how did it end up in Winston Churchill's house or like where he was born? Like what?
When they said under 5 minutes, all I was thinking this entire time, and kudos to me for being a fucking idiot, I suppose. Because, like, of course, no one's using a golden toilet. Like, what the fuck's wrong with me for even thinking? But I was
That's
like,
some
there's
Action
no way you
Bronson
could.
shit.
There's no way you could detach that from the plumbing system in time in 5 minutes. I don't think so. Like, I'm fucking like, oh, you're so smart, Kennedy. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I was
Of
gonna
course
say,
they're
it's like,
smart,
check the
geez.
local plumbers union to find out who stole this thing. I don't think I could take out a toilet in 5 minutes.
Shit, man.
I mean, I know a thing or two about plumbing, and like 5 minutes. That means like somebody got in there and
this means I grabbed it and yanked it off the ground.
Now, for the record, this thing looks like it's hooked up. Like the photo of it it's in a bathroom.
Oh,
you know?
God.
I'm sure no one was using it, but you know, it looks like it was hooked up. It definitely gave the appearance of trying to be. And the thing weighs 216 pounds, which is not something like, you know, that's not an absurd amount of weight to carry. I understand, especially if it was multiple people, but like, you don't do that concealed, you know?
How'd they do it? How'd they do it?
Hold on, let me look.
Does it say? Because I bet it was like, so they showed up with clipboards in plumbers' outfits and they're like, where's the gold toilet? Hang on. Recall from the plumbers union.
Okay, guys, because we live in an age of spectacle and there's no escaping this fucking man. This piece was actually offered to President Donald Trump after his either him or his administration asked if they could borrow a Van Gogh painting from the facility. They were like, nah, but we'll give you the gold toilet. Oh, it was at the Guggenheim. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's when he asked, because it was at the Guggenheim. It wasn't. I was like, that's weird. Why did he ask Winston? How did this end up in the palace where Churchill was born? This is so weird. What are they using this house for now?
I guess it's a museum or something.
They didn't think Churchill being born there was enough of a tourist attraction, apparently. They had to go install the gold toilet.
Come see
We've got the golden toilet in the room. We got the gold toilet in the room where the marble rolls upwards.
Winston Churchill was born in this toilet.
Yeah, they cased the place. They figured out how to break a window, and this was literally just a heist.
They just broke in. Like, it wasn't even like a
they stole 2 cars, like crashed through a gate, and then pulled up to the front steps, broke a window, and jacked it out the wall. That's
why
fucking
the
wild.
toilet is the real question, though. Why was that the most valuable thing?
It was hooked. It was hooked up. This
no
thing
bullshit. What the fuck? No fucking way.
They said leaving water gushing from the pipes that caused considerable damage to the 18th century building. You know what that means? That means they took out an 18th century toilet and then hooked it up to the wall. And they're like, nope. All right, cut the water off. We're bringing in the gold toilet. Oh my God, man.
What the fuck?
I need this to be fuck Ocean's 11, man. This needs to be a movie. I want the golden toilet stealing movie. All of the defendants have pleaded not guilty. And you know what? If Luigi can get off on a technicality, why not them?
Free my homies who stole the golden toilet.
Free the gold toilet homies. They didn't. They really didn't, man. What's the point of a toilet if you can't piss in it?
What's the point of a toilet if you can't steal it?
That's why I have 5.
And that's why the public school has none. All right, is that enough news?
Man, God, let's see. We talked about how the government can't stop you from doing weather magic.
How they can stop you from stealing a toilet.
We talked about how Vance is like totally bitch made. Yeah, I think, you know what? Good news segment, guys. Way to go. We're going to end it.
Hooray.
All right, everyone. This next segment is a tribute to a great man. We're going to in honor of his legacy and everything, we're gonna start this segment of the show the same way that he would start many of his talkings. We're gonna do the pouring of libations. So we're gonna say a name and we're gonna give him a little bit of a pour, and just whenever I say a name, all of you just say Ashe. First off, we're just gonna pour one out for brother Bobby Hemmitt. Ashe.
Ashe.
Kosaka.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ka. Ashe.
Ashe.
Melanin,
Ashe.
Gargoyle,
Ashe.
Shaitan,
Ashe.
Yeah, Iwas, Ashe.
Shaitan Iwas. Ashe.
Thunderdog, Ashe.
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 Ramun, Ashe.
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 The blue black god Soot, Ashe.
No. The black god Set or Soot. Ashe.
Ashe.
The blue black god of Krishna.
The blue black god
Ashe.
Krishna, Ashe.
Ashe. There we go.
Self-begotten Set Typhon.
Ashe.
Asar Anefer. Ashe.
Ashe.
The original self-begotten man.
Ashe.
Okay.
All right.
We got
Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, Ascended Master.
Ascended Master.
Ashe.
All right. No. Hold on.
Got anybody else?
Who else?
Because I'm running out of booze.
Cobra Commander.
Cobra
Ashe.
Commander, Ashe.
The guy that wore that bear costume. Ashe.
Ashe.
Cios, give us one.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Ashe.
The lady from my liquor store.
Ashe.
Putting her kids through cool.
Bigfoot. Ascended Master.
Ascended Master.
Ascended
Ashe.
Master
Ashe.
Bigfoot. Ashe.
Rat Boy.
No, Rat Boy
No.
ain't getting no.
Okay. No.
That's where we draw the line.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ascended Master.
Ascended Master.
Sonichu.
Sonichu. Ashe.
Ashe. Oh God.
All right, I
Okay,
think that's enough. Unless we got anybody, any family members, anybody.
You know what? We'll pour out. We'll do one more for. The Knights of Chaos might have fallen. They might have failed, but you're still my dad. Peter Carroll.
Peter Carroll.
Ashe.
Ashe. All right.
Why won't you return my calls?
If that hasn't cued you in already to what's happening, yes, we are once again revisiting Ascended Master. Well, I mean, he ain't dead yet, so I guess he's not actually an Ascended Master.
We don't know that.
As far as we know.
As far as
That's the problem. We really don't know.
yeah, but we're talking about Bobby Hemmitt once again, and there's a reason for that. Cios was the origin of this point. That's also why they're on the show today.
That's me.
Cios found this work that just recently came out. It's entitled Bobby's Bibliography, Curating the Life and Research of Brother Bobby Hemmitt by Shani Ojukwu Monteso, PhD, from Triple Black Press, with no vowels in any of that.
From what?
Triple Black Press without any vowels.
Oh, well, okay. No, I see it.
Cios, how did you find this, man?
I think somebody, it could have just been me. I don't know. I've been talking, joking around about Bobby Hemmitt stuff in the Discord, and I knew from looking before and listening to the original podcast where you guys brought him up that he hadn't really written any books, little pamphlets here and there, but like never any books. But I just got a wild hair and decided to type Bobby Hemmitt into Amazon, see if anything came up, if anybody had written anything. And it turned out that this had just come out, like, I think just a few months ago, like last September or something like that. And I more than likely had a couple shots in me and immediately hit order. So that's how I get most things in my house.
Cios was then kind enough to share a photo of it in the Discord, and because we do this show, co-host and I were immediately like, no, we're getting this. We're going to talk about this on the show. This is happening.
And actually, initially, I was really excited because I thought it said Bobby's biography.
Right, yeah.
And then I looked and I saw it was 80-something pages, and I was like, well, that's a pretty short biography. And then I reread it and noticed it said bibliography. And I thought to myself, is this just a list of just like books and stuff he's talked about? And lo and behold, that is a good chunk of the book.
Right.
Man.
So let's describe the book real quick, the breakdown of it. It is, let's see, It is a brisk 76 pages, give or take, a couple extra pages here and there, maybe. The first chunk of the book, from about a little over halfway, is a sort of general background of Bobby Hemmitt and his life, what kind of ideas he was influenced by. And then the rest of the book is literally just a list of other books that he has talked about and some movies.
Now, I think you should mention too that in the biography part, this person doesn't know Bobby. They've never met them. There's no sit down. This is a biography that they have put together from watching his videos.
Right. That is the big thing to take away from this book so far is the person that wrote
That they're
this.
a better researcher than us? They
No,
had
because
all
they
the,
used a lot of the
no,
same material we did.
They had all the same resources and they came out with a book. Where's your book?
I would argue that the episode I put out was better than this book. I'm willing to say that.
Did you say that? Did
Yeah.
you say Bobby was born in a log cabin? I'm pretty sure they did.
I think they said he was born in Los Angeles.
It has some of the same letters.
Oh my god. So I guess
Los Angeles.
Cios, do you,
Yeah.
Cios, where you and I both got to read it. I in fact reread it after I had gotten it initially, right before we started this again. But where would you like to start with this, you think? Because co-host hasn't had a chance to read it, so we're just firing things off at them to let them react to. What
Making me think I should have reread it.
No, you're good.
Well, hold on. We could pause for 15 minutes and you could read it cover to cover, right?
Well, you have some quotes and stuff you wanted to talk
Oh
about.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, some of the quotes wasn't even just from this book. Honestly, some of them I picked up from watching 5 hours of Bobby Hemmitt videos. But
In fact, that's great. Tell you what, let's start with that because, of course, maybe you didn't see our original Bobby Hemmitt episode. Maybe you're not aware of who Bobby Hemmitt is.
That would be episode 18, professional podcasting.
Was that professional podcasting? Ah,
yes.
Callbacks. All right.
Well,
so
okay.
That being said, let's Cios, from the quotes that you've picked up here. Let's just give us an introduction to Bobby Hemmitt in spirit. We'll say.
Okay, well, some of these are kind of quotes, and some of these are more just like little paraphrases that I wrote down, throughout the day. Every time I heard him say something interesting, I'd put it down. So this is just some knowledge, the kind of knowledge you could get from listening to Bobby Hemmitt. Tupac, the reason Tupac died, he died because the gods left him because he made a music video with white women in the backseat of a limo.
Oh,
Yep. Before that, he had been shot at before and he had survived and everything, and that's because the gods were with him. But ever since he made that music video, the gods left him, and that's what allowed him to be killed. Let's see. The OJ trial was prophesied in an Egyptian scroll owned by E. Wallace Bulge.
Huh?
Yeah, he talks about that in the video, What If the God You Serve is the Devil, at approximately 20 minutes in.
playing that clip right here.
You see what I'm saying? Ain't no way in hell you gonna talk and talk about how he said about the ghetto and all this kind of thing, but ain't nobody showing that video when he was around here with them doggone crackers all up in the back seat of his damn car, hooking up with them damn white women. You see what I'm saying? And so as a result of that, the spirits backed off from his ass, and so the next time they pull up on him, he didn't have the energy.
What's some other stuff I got here? Oh, the Crips and the Bloods were started at Pepperdine University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Simultaneously?
Yes. Yeah. No. Like in a think tank. They were created and then let loose on the community is the idea.
I believe that. No, I believe the gang war got instituted by Whitey.
And let's see here. One of the last things I got here is this is an actual quote. We have mythology about walking around in clouds. How do you think we got that mythology? Because we were walking around in the clouds and recording it. And last little quote. You're not going to get the spirit realm to finance your lunacy, was the last little quote I liked.
Wow.
Which apparently, if Bobby wasn't able to pay to have his heat going, I don't think that the spirit realm did finance his lunacy.
Okay.
Callbacks for those of you who don't remember, Bobby Hemmitt said, if you learn to take cold showers, you don't have to pay your heat in the summertime. So that's what that's what that was. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be doing some kind of ritual or something like that at some point, and I'm going to hear from the ether Bobby Hemmitt's voice saying, the spirit world is not going to finance your lunacy. And I'm like, please, just like 3 more Patreon subscribers, please.
Well, all right. Let me read you guys a little bit from the opening here because I thought this was this kind of addresses what the person who wrote this book was intending to do, I think. This is from chapter 1. He who knows one book knows none. And then it opens with a quote from Bobby. The reason I give bibliography in books is because the government can exploit you if you don't give bibliography in books. And if you come up and you run off at the doggone mouth, the government, they already know that the people out here don't never believe anything we saying. We're just going to believe what the people say on TV. But they don't mess with you if they know you can give them bibliography. Because they know if you can give a person a book, you convince that person that night that the on TV is crazy. But if that person can go to the library and read the book and turn to the back and get another bibliography, then he can start thinking for himself.
I'd just like to say good job not doing the Bobby voice.
Props to you. For the record, what Bobby is saying is that people don't believe you anyway. Those in power already know that if you try to tell people the truth, they're not going to believe you. But if you have something to point to and saying, no, this is where I got this from. I'm not just talking out of my mouth. This has sources. They can go and look at what you're talking about and then see that it's backed up by other sources, and maybe they can start thinking for themselves. Is that what Bobby's saying?
Yeah, that's a general idea, I think.
So.
And that's very on brand for Bobby.
Not a bad sentiment.
Well, on the one hand, no. But on the other hand, we're about to...
There's fingers.
We're going to... Jesus. We're about to see that you can have a really, really big and expansive bibliography and still say absolute nonsense. For instance, let's just... you know what? In fact, I'll go right to it from here. This has one of the most summary explanations of a certain phenomena in the Black occult community. Bobby Hemmitt frequently tells his lecture audiences that the apparently disparate corners of the earth were once one landmass, Pangea perhaps, and that the original people, i.e. melanated black-skinned people, are a world-class people, neither reducible to so-called Africans nor confined to so-called Africa. This recognition allows us to lay claim to all lands and ideas that have been issued forth from them. We are told by science and by scholarship that we are indeed the original humans, the indigenous people whom Earth/Geb/Terra/Gaia seeded herself. We incarnated everywhere at once, growing out of the Earth Mother as both students and stewards of the earth, waters, plants, animals, and air. Recently deceased historian, author, and lecturer Dr. Runoko Rashidi, death 2021, built his career on demonstrating this fact, traveling to places outside the Maafa circumscribed Atlantic triangle of the African diaspora to bear witness to the fact that the earliest peoples to inhabit places as unexpected as modern-day Ireland, Tibet, India, Russia, China, Turkey, Iran, and Iraq, and in the entirety of the Americas, and of course Egypt, were black.
Okay, for the record, I just pulled up Runoko Rashidi, and this is a Chad of a man. Holy shit. Look at this guy. Hold on. I'm going to send this picture. You guys got to see this.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Is that a real photo? That's not AI. What the hell?
God, I hope so. This
I'm not arguing with him.
That's the enemy stand user, bro. That guy gonna fucking holy shit. I'm sorry.
Wild.
I mean to detract that much, but look at him. Okay, so
but yeah,
so
I've
far-
just never heard it said so plainly.
I like the idea that it's like, no, we all just sort of popped out of the ground. That's that was my takeaway. It's like we came out of the earth.
That is another Bobby Hemmitt idea that we didn't come from apes. If we did, then the ancients would have told us that we came from apes.
Right, yeah. I can't even remember. There's a specific line in this book where they talk about it's a possibility that we descended directly from a higher dimensional plane or something. The book is split into this sort of introductory section explaining the theory behind it, which gives a little bit of like academic background. It lists like a bunch of Bobby's sources, but it also gives, the key point that we were trying to touch on earlier, that the person who wrote this like doesn't know Bobby Hemmitt. They only know of them because of YouTube videos.
Yes.
And what's wrong with that?
Follow-up article that talks about Bobby's theory of like leadership and being a teacher and so on. And hang on, what's this other? There's a line here that I gotta find. He criticizes the waiting for Superman type mentality that everyone needs to kind of like become conscious for themselves and stuff instead of waiting for like a messiah to come teach you. This was an interesting one from a chaos magic perspective.
I think all three of us would agree with that, though, wouldn't we?
No, I'm not saying I disagree with it. I'm just saying that that's sort of, he starts talking about that. And like, you can see it demonstrated here, right? Someone's asking him about, they were asking advice for learning the Bakongo Brazilian spiritual system of Palo Mayombe and how they might become a practitioner of it. They asked if he should go from mouth to ear, which is like having an intermediary sort of teacher thing. And Bobby said, no, you need to go from the book. That's the problem. You got these now with the Yoruba and all this shit. You go up there and you're going to have to spend damn near $10,000. Get a book. Spirits know that we are lazy and we don't want to study, and that's why they have these motherfuckers pimp yo ass out. I never respected going under any Babaloa or anything. Which again, another positive point in Bobby's corner. I like the sound of that. Beyond that, it's just sort of giving you more of like, hey, I'm Bobby Hemmitt, and I learned from all of these people. There's like I said, there's a whole section that's basically just saying like, look at all these influential people that Bobby's talked about, which again, if you go back to the first chapter of this book, that's totally what this person's kind of about anyway. Cause they're like, look, the whole point of this is that Bobby knows a whole lot because he's got a lot of books that he talked about. So like, there's a whole section where they're like, check it out. Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Bobby Seale, Huey Newton, Aleister Crowley, Helena Blavatsky, Kenneth Grant, Manly P. Hall.
Wait. Kenneth Grant gets name dropped?
Yeah. A.A. Rashid.
Wait. So my question is, when we were back in episode 18 talking about like, oh shit, Bobby Hemmitt talking about some draconian current and the goddess who's the triple blackness of space. And we were like, oh man, he on some Kenneth Grant shit. He was literally on some Kenneth Grant shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
There's a whole section about.
I really love the idea of Bobby Hemmitt reading Aleister Crowley, reading Manly P. Hall, reading Kenneth Grant, and being like, man, if y'all weren't so light-skinned, this would be dope. Hold on, I got an idea.
Well, no, I mean, clearly Bobby didn't care. He was willing to take ideas from anywhere he got it. That's sort of, again, it comes back to this sort of weird issue that we're talking about, because the way this book works is it's someone making the claim. The reason these spiritual teachings are so potent is because they all contain some sort of infallible truth that if you read it and understand it, you'll agree. And that's sort of their argument. Like, well, Bobby Hemmitt is incredibly important because we have all these videos that document these sources, and Bobby's sources point you to other people that you can keep reading. But it belies the fundamental fact that Bobby Hemmitt is like incredibly well read. He has all these great sources, people that even like us as occultists would point at and be like, these are some great places you can look at. Kenneth Grant, Aleister Crowley. Again, there's people like Gerald Massey, which I think from like an historical analysis of, certain ideas from history and mythology is kind of an interesting figure. Things that you can generally say these are great, but you still get Bobby fucking Hemmitt when you come up with all of that. And Bobby Hemmitt is fucking wild.
They get Hemmittized.
Just wait till you hear his opinions on minotaurs.
Shit. Look, bro, if there's a minotaur mentioned by Bobby Hemmitt anywhere, I will lose my fucking mind.
I'm certain there is.
No.
There's also before we get to the big portion of the book that is just, a list of books and films. There's one more section on the triple goddess and the three women of Bobby Hemmitt's life, which is like a brief biography of Bobby's mother, his first wife, and his second wife. And it traces it to like a sort of mythological, spiritual reality of them representing the triple goddess in his life. And that's where I really got I was confirmed later because they talk about other people being connected to Bobby Hemmitt. And even though we haven't seen him anywhere since, what was it, 2014 or 2011, when he has a stroke and he stopped speaking publicly.
I think it was 2014.
The fact that even though he hasn't been seen or talked to since 2014, there are people that are still receiving spiritual communications from him. You realize that what this person is they have like kind of mythologized this poor man and his wacky spiritual teachings. And that's got to be a weird situation to be in. I don't really know how, because to a certain extent, right? I understand what it means to be a fan of somebody and to think that they have genuine spiritual knowledge, right? You know, like I think Aleister Crowley was onto something. I think Robert Anton Wilson was onto something. There's all sorts of figures that I'm like, I think you're really interesting and you hold a very specific place in the occult world that I was brought into when I started studying like magic and stuff like that, right? And I understand that Bobby Hemmitt probably, again, has to hold that position for a lot of people. And a lot of people, the African-American people specifically, I'm sure that a lot of their introduction to occultism came through this person. But it's also one thing that you have to acknowledge, the same thing that we do about all the time with Aleister Crowley. Like, yeah, he was a crazy guy that like fucked people, like got people to fuck him in the ass and shit. You have to like acknowledge, same thing with like Bobby Hemmitt. Like Bobby Hemmitt is a man who has been given weird fucking lectures talking about everything from UFOs to black mental illness and being a conspiracy, and then saying that you shouldn't be gay because you've been feminized by the technology and shit.
And like, and the fact is, if somebody telling you that melanin is like the spiritual molecule and like that's the root of all of it, right? Yeah, it's very hokey, and we can all like, maybe it's worth pointing out that a lot of even the mystic end of like these sort of black supremacist ideas, they come out of a place of just god awful oppression. These were made in response to being diaspora, of divorced from your own culture and brought up in a civilization that had basically robbed you of your heritage, and then you sort of trying to build from there.
Yeah, and so consistently puts you down as subhuman compared to another group and so on.
Yeah. So it's like, it makes sense that these sort of ideas of trying to elevate yourself, and it's like, it's just one of those that I think in a wider lens, it can seem a little goofy. It can seem kind of hokey. It's something that's it is kind of funny in a regard.
Well, and again, it'd be one thing if it was all just kind of like kooky beliefs, right? But some of this is kind of doing, again, it's just black QAnon type shit.
Yeah.
Like to a certain point, that's what it turns into, where it's like, oh yeah, the gods left Tupac Shakur because he made a video with white girls in it. You know what I mean?
Even going back to what I was saying way, earlier, he actually does in one of his videos, I'm not sure which one, bring up Illuminatus.
Right.
And tries to use that as see, this is where they're telling you all the true stuff in this book.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The fucking is the shit we talked about before.
Yeah. Bobby Hemmitt himself falls prey to the joke and believes it's real.
Yes, very much so, apparently.
Getting into the next segment, the actual bibliography, you can see the clear distinction, right? Because like you have things like Flying Serpents and Dragons, The Story of Mankind's Reptilians Past by R.A. Belay. And you have like the book on paleo, Deities, Initiation Rituals and Ceremonies by Baba Rual Canizares. And you have that shit right next to Liber Chaos by Peter. Oh God, I completely missed that. Peter L. Carroll. Peter L. Carroll, writer of Liber Chaos and Liber Null.
Pete. Take this L. Alexander Dugan be like,
oh my God. That's I can't believe I missed that fucking misspelling. That's hilarious.
Wow. So wait, so he references cat?
Oh, yeah, he
actually
does.
No. Because I remember. Yeah, I forgot actually because
Chaos,
I remembered looking up Bobby Hemmitt Chaos Magic, and there's videos of him talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, dude, I remember now because he talks about chaos magic. He says, white people aren't going to waste time on something that doesn't get results. That's why
Yeah.
chaos
Yep,
magic
yep,
is a
yep.
thing. That was it. I remember.
And then I made the
Oh.
fucking, because he says, yeah, the one thing you need to know is that chaos controls. And I was like, chaos controls. Stupid Sonic reference.
Oh, man. God, I should have rewatched our own episode. That
Wow,
would be,
Lon's even in
wait,
here.
what?
Lon Milo Duquette is in this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Angels
man.
and Demons and Gods of the New Millennium.
Wow.
Yeah, right next to David Icke. The Robots Rebellion, the story of spiritual renaissance.
So basically,
And Robert
you know what?
Greene's 48 Laws of Power.
No, that doesn't surprise me. You know what it is? You know what Bobby Hemmitt, what his error might be within this bibliography? Discernment.
Oh yeah, it's
And we
exactly what
harp
it
on-
is.
We always harp on that. You got to know are you listening to David Icke or are you listening to Lon Milo Duquette, And that, that's just an example. Like, I'm not saying, if you're somebody who's going to bat for David Icke, just fuck off. I'm not saying that Lon Milo is always right about everything, but like, there's definitely a level of like, there are certain people that you should not be listening to because they're fucking idiots. And you need discernment. In the same way that if you're gonna listen to Bobby Hemmitt, you have to have a discerning ear. You have to be able to listen for the things that might be useful, that might be worth taking in and considering and looking at. And this shit when he's just like breaks off to tell you about cutting off your heat in the summer. Actually, no,
No, that's good advice. I'm
That's
talking
good
about.
advice, yeah.
I don't like it when he
It's
talks
being
about
frugal.
Yeah. I don't like Bobby when he's talking shit about like don't be gay, and when he's like the original Interstellar African Alliance or something is gonna come in and just take over or something. Like I'm against the wacky shit that might be
kind
dangerous.
of Poseidus, right? Where it's like, they're gonna come from the stars. And
Oh no,
like,
yeah, he's definitely one of those types. Because that is something we probably didn't talk about enough with Bobby is just how ufology he is related to. Because we're not big on fucking UFOs here. We're just not.
Oh yeah, no, that's like one of the things. Like he thinks that the melanin that gives people superpowers is from space. We just have to say that.
Right? Yeah. Like he thinks that
alien, Star Child kind of stuff. Like,
you know what it is too? That's because Kenneth Grant talks about extraterrestrial intelligences, right?
Trans-Plutonian or Ugothian.
Yeah, trans-Plutonian forces. Now, the other thing you have to remember is that and this is my reading, and maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I need to go because I've been digging through the Typhonian trilogies again because it's been so long since I looked through them. But you got to remember that these are symbolic of a universal hierarchy of a more spiritual nature that is connected to the psychosexual and the celestial. In that it's like when he says extraterrestrial, he means forces beyond the planet Earth. He doesn't necessarily mean little green men running around,
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people, it's that thing of like a force might be cosmic in nature, but it doesn't mean that it's cosmic in the nature of like a physical being that comes to this planet and does something. And I think that's maybe the fault in the logic of a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, we were put here by alien, we were put here by like the Anunnaki who like molded us and stuff like that. And it's like, even when you were mentioning like we didn't come from apes sort of thing, or like we ascended from a different dimension. It's like, I could see like the sort of Gnostic spiritual argument of that of like, yeah, we don't come from the earth. We are from a cosmic source. And it's like, yeah, but the hardware that
Pleroma.
but the hardware we're downloaded into definitely came out of a monkey,
Yes.
That's how it got here. You don't why would you make a dude out of clay when you could screw with the ape that was already here and just give him, take the barbs off his dick and watch what happens.
Wait.
That sounds like a joke.
Do monkeys have
like,
barbs on their dicks?
Oh, bro, I hate that you had to find out this way. Never do the
Wow.
9th degree with a monkey.
Oh my God, no.
Never again.
Never again. That explains these wounds. But no. But there's an evolutionary theory that actually postulates that it was the loss of the penile barbs that led to like a very noticeable shift that led to human beings.
Wow.
And now I sound like Bobby Hemmitt. Oh my god. When you say things
That's why
without
all the kids these days are trying to get litter boxes into the classroom. Because
Look, when
cats
you
also have barbs.
Oh my god! Holy
When-
shit!
Look, you see, I'm telling you, man, it's that atavistic resurgence. It's we are desiring to get back to our penile barbs.
Okay, all right. Cios, was there anything you found in the bibliography that you were like, oh, that was really interesting? I didn't expect to see that.
You know, in the bibliography, let me see here. I had a couple things down here. Interesting stuff that, like I said, I don't know how he would have worked it into stuff necessarily. The Island of Dr. Moreau. It's kind of an interesting one. Dracula, like some of the
you referenced Frankenstein too.
Yeah, like some
there's
of
just like
the,
weird ones. Where you're
Now
like,
I'm
where did-
thinking how you would actually fit Island of Dr. Moreau in there, because Island of Dr. Moreau is like vivisect animals and turn them into people. Maybe he's talking like maybe that's like some Yakubian shit of like that's how you made.
That could be. I mean, it kind of goes against the we didn't come from
the monkeys,
apes
yeah.
thing, I suppose. But
Well, we didn't. Well, okay, hang on. We might be made of apes, but we didn't come from apes.
Oh. Made from 100% ape.
Look. There's a certain reptilian type alien people that came down from the darker dimensions, called the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki saw these apes and they're like, "Look, well, we need something to carry shit for us. You know what I'm talking about? I get my back gets tired. You know, if
You're
you spend
doing
all day
the
walking
voice.
around-
God damn it.
No, damn it. Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't want to say it.
Oh, not the Bobby voice. I didn't mean to.
Canceled.
It's a point I keep coming back to in a way, really, but it's fascinating that virtually every major like occult figure you can think of does get referenced somewhere in this as the person who created it said, non-exhaustive list, but like all the highlights are there. There's Aleister Crowley, there's Helena Blavatsky, there's Kenneth Grant, there's Peter Lamborn Wilson, there's Robert Anton Wilson, there's Tobias Churchton even gets referenced in here. Donald
Vampire
Tyson.
Chronicles by Anne Rice.
Yeah, Anne Rice.
Wow.
Ascended Master.
No, Descended Master.
Rudolf Steiner. Yeah, like, you know, like pretty much.
Well, Rudolf Steiner's obvious. Like that, if you're going to mention Blavatsky, Steiner was going to show up. But like Hakim Bey got mentioned?
Yeah. Sacred
Wow.
Drift.
Wow. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. I mean, and that's a weird thing because it's like Bobby Hemmitt totally has like the building blocks of an extensive amount of, it's one of those like if somebody were to tell me that Bobby Hemmitt was not just like a mystic and not just teacher, but like he was full on doing like magic in the same way that
He was.
the rest of us.
He was.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, of course he was. Look at what he had. Look at who he was going from.
Well, like, he would sell you spells and shit at the end of his fucking lectures.
Well, and that was
books and
another thing
art.
too, because when I saw Bobby's bibliography, right, I assumed that this was dealing with like his extensive library of books that were not like properly published, because he would just like print stuff up and put it together,
He, like,
put it together
pamphlets
himself and then
slap
sell it
together.
after. Yeah, sell it after the lectures, which is cool. Go for it, bro.
Oddly enough, like he does reference like 2 works that I guess are published in his own bibliography that he wrote. Let me find.
Yeah,
them
there's a
again.
couple in here.
The Titans, which I haven't read. Melanin people, how to eat and devour their energy. White Luciferians reveal their secrets. I
Yeah,
do
that
have that
one-
one.
Yeah, you can find that one online pretty easily
Gnostic
because
mythology, which it says reference lectured at Bobby Hemmitt _ occult book reps on Instagram.
Well, because that's you hear Bobby going on about the fall of the Titans thing, the like where the Greek pantheon usurps the rule of the Titans, and then from the blood of the Titans makes man. In the same way that like Marduk slays Tiamat and Kingu and makes man from them. So that seemed to be like another myth structure that he seemed to propagate, where he talked about like, no, we were the original divinities that were usurped and placed here by other gods. And that's a thing that shows up in the Simon Necronomicon, for example.
Well, hell, it's a, Thomas Taylor talks about it in his commentaries on, he specifically talks about the Dionysian idea of, Dionysus Zargaris being torn apart by the Titans and the Titans being killed. So, and then man being created out of the ashes of the Titans and the heart or
So
something of Zargaris.
man partakes of both natures, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but so these are these again, like everything that Bobby has is legitimate, quote unquote, I suppose, legitimate in that it comes from
And the
somewhere
idea
else,
that
like legitimate.
Bobby wasn't
occult
sitting
idea.
here. Bobby was not sitting here making up stuff. Bobby was compiling the works of many other many other authors and occult thoughts before him, and placing them in a system that made sense to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, that's like, the Kenneth Grant comparisons are very notable here because he did a lot of the same. Even like example, going, like I said, going back through the Typhonian trilogies, who he name drops a lot? Massey.
Yeah. It's probably where he gets it from. There is one part of this that we haven't mentioned yet that I do want to talk about. Well, we mentioned it briefly, I think, but there's also a filmography.
Yes, all the different movies that Bobby, because he that was one thing, he was a big fan of getting hidden truths and talking about it from movies he's seen on television.
Bobby loved him some Kino, man. He was a cinephile.
Well, he talked about Ghost.
I remember him talking about Ghost.
You trying to kick that can with your physical hand.
So Sio's had an interesting idea for this.
Yes. Specifically kind of for the movies, the filmography section here, because I don't know, you can't really do this with like...
The books don't work as well.
Everybody's seen most of these movies though, and there's a lot of them that I just have no idea how he would have wrapped into, kind of an occult talk, an occult...
Yeah, like what's the occult message he was getting out of this? So
my idea was, I have a few of these written down here, and I was going to throw out some titles and see if anybody could give a short Bobby Hemmitt style screed about the occult using some of these movies.
Are we still not doing the voice?
Please.
That is up to your discretion.
Okay. I'm down. You want to lay them on us?
All right, so let's start here. Let's go first with 1998's Joe Dante classic, Small Soldiers.
Oh my God.
A movie about small army men toys that come to life.
Well, no, it's actually, it makes a lot of sense that Bobby would go with this movie because Small Soldiers is about a group of peaceful indigenous monsters. Well, being made as toys. Yeah, the Gorgonites. That's what they're called, the Gorgonites, who are set upon by their evil capitalist colonialist military enemy. I don't remember what they were called, but so it makes sense. How would Bobby work that into
No, it's easy because it's the commandos. So it's like, you see, the Gorgonites are peaceful monsters that come from a land far away that they're seeking to return to. And their existence was that they were trying to gather knowledge and bring it back to their homeland. But instead, what they're set upon is that they are villainized and demonized and created. They take one look at them and say, oh man, no, I got an idea. We're going to use our commandos, our G.I. Joe-esque knockoff things, and we're going to use the same artificial intelligence microchips that you have in them. We're going to place them into these killing machines, and you are going to be the castigated that's right. You're going to be the castigated, demonized enemies for our military industrial complex. So it's like that's what it tells you, is that the minute that you want to start asking questions, that you want to learn something, or God forbid, you want to get back to where you were from, they're going to kill you.
Wow.
I'll give you that one. I think you did it.
I say that does it. Okay, let's go with 1998's The Mask of Zorro.
Oh God. Mask of Zorro. Man.
How the hell starring Antonio Banderas.
Oh God.
And I think Selma Hayek.
Oh God, I think you're right. Hold on, it's been forever since I've seen that one.
Catherine
hold on.
Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta.
Oh, never mind.
Way off.
And Anthony Hopkins. Pulling up the Wikipedia so I can remember what happens in that movie.
It doesn't matter. You know what Zorro is. Roll with it.
Yeah, go for it.
See,
He's getting out his whiteboard so he can write his it's going to help if he writes while he's doing this.
the Spanish population for many years, right, was under the occupation of who? The Moors. What are the Moors? The Moors are the original black people.
He's got it.
Of course they were taking over it. But you notice, as a sign of their own oppression, that they what do they take on as their heroes? Even when they're being oppressed by these Moors, it's such a bad time under Moorish Spain. Oh no, these these Spanish people, and people don't notice this, but the Hispanics, they're different. They're not the same because the Spaniards are white people. So, but even when they're looking for a hero, what do they look for? He's wearing all black. He's got black head to toe. He got a black mask on. What do they look for? Even in the time, they're looking for their salvation in the melanated people. Oh man, this is the worst idea. I'm going to hell.
Hey, is Highlander on there? Is Highlander on the list?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, Highlander is on the list.
Okay, because I have a lot to say about this because I watched Highlander one time when I was in a really weird headspace and I noticed something, all right? Okay, why is Sean Connery a Spaniard, but he's not? He's from Egypt, right? He's Egyptian. He's a metallurgist from Egypt. You know what a metallurgist in Egypt was?
An alchemist.
An alchemist. Yeah. So guess what? So who shows up to oh God, what's his name? Who's the fucking lead? Pete or something.
What, the Highlander?
Who's the fucking lead of Highlander? Who's the star of Highlander?
I don't fucking know.
Who's the guy who plays McLeod?
French guy. He played Raiden.
Yes. What's his fucking name? What's the guy's name? Fucking shit. It's not Peter. Fuck Christopher Lambert. That's it.
Lambert,
I'm thinking Pete
Lambert.
I'm thinking Lam.
I had the L. I was thinking Peter.
Whatever.
Peter Lavenda? Who the hell are you trying to
Whatever.
say?
Peter Lavenda.
All right, look. He shows up. Look, the point is that Sean Connery is an Egyptian alchemist who shows up to initiate another Highlander into the way and lets you know there can be only one, that we are fighting for this power and you are now part of this. So, and instead of killing him instantly, he shows him wisdom. And you know what? He's the first initiator. And that's why he has a peacock veil on him, like a shawl. Because the peacock, one, has a symbol in alchemy for the purification. At the end of the purification process, there's the peacock. And then Aleister Crowley talks about the image of the universal peacock, which he associates with Shiva Darshana. And then if you look, Shaitan Iwaz is supposedly analogous with Malik Tao's the peacock angel. What you see is in this and Highlander, Sean Connery is literally showing up as a mystical initiator with all of the trappings. He's an Egyptian alchemist peacock. Like that's literal Western occult tradition symbolism in this movie, and nobody talks about it. But I bet Bobby did.
And then they shoot that all to hell with Highlander 2.
Yeah, where it's like, oh no, it's like,
we came from space. Huh,
no, Bobby's back in.
Shit.
Bobby's back in.
And it's literally it, bro. Look. Highlander 1, Book of the Law. Highlander 2, Typhonian trilogies.
Oh God, you got another one, Cios?
Yeah. If this bit isn't completely dead, let's go with one last one here. 1999's Deep Blue Sea. And if you need a little refresher on that, set in an isolated underwater facility, the film follows a team of scientists
in an underwater
research on mako sharks to help fight Alzheimer's disease. And go.
A motherfucking shark ate him. Why? You know why they always eating brothers in fucking movies? They always the first to go.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
God damn.
Holy shit. Wow.
I love how that I finally got to say my shit about Highlander. That shit's been festering in the back of my head for years.
Just to throw a couple more out there, there's just, it's like literally it's just what Bobby was watching that fucking week. He says Smallville.
Do y'all remember that one thing from The Invisibles where Mason is talking about seeing, it's like when he starts looking at cinema and he's like, I'm starting to see signs from everything. That's like clearly there are like members of Invisible Sex that are filmmakers that are putting out these messages. I kind of think that's what when you're at this, there's a certain you can call it magical mind state. Sometimes you can call it just like you're not well, I guess. I don't know. The line between crazy and mystical is very thin and smudged a great deal of the time. But
not to get super into the like the philosophy psychoanalytics area of it, but it reminds me a lot of what like schizo analysis idea, this breaking from conventional reality where you can start finding like things like, for lack of a better term, just because it's the one that I like, like transcendent messages in stuff like media.
Absolutely.
Even if it's not,
but
like,
that's
there.
But that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about with Highlander. Where it's like,
no, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Why is it? Yeah, like do I really think that was Western occult symbolism in that movie? I mean, like maybe it wouldn't be unheard of that somebody like some filmmaker would put something like that in a movie, but it could very well be that I have a lot of occult associations with things so that when I see it, I'm able to maneuver and make it intelligible within the framework that I've established, which is exactly what I think Bobby was doing. I think you could show Bobby an episode of Paw Patrol and he might be able to find something. Dead silence. You guys are trying to remember episodes of Paw Patrol. It's okay. I didn't watch it either. Bobby just going, so Roblox, right?
The tail end of this, and we're going to drop this one and end it here because this actually isn't Bobby Hemmitt's fault. This has nothing to do with Bobby Hemmitt. The author of this has a problem with this movie that just came out like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Just to remind you guys, this is the first book that this person wrote. They are very influenced by Bobby Hemmitt, it seems, but this is undeniably something that they just felt like they had to get off their chest, and they decided to stick it in the book about Bobby Hemmitt. There's this movie called They Cloned Tyrone that came out on Netflix, and they're really mad about it. They're really mad. So much that they wrote in a book that only has, what we say, 76 pages?
Yes.
Yeah, in a book that only has like 76 pages, 5 of them are devoted to her telling you that this was a really bad movie and it's an insult to the Black occult community and Bobby Hemmitt specifically, and then demands that Erykah Badu answer for her support of this movie.
This is almost purely because she claims that at one point he said they cloned Tyrone in a video.
Right, yeah.
So that's the connection.
Because he used that phrase and they named the movie after enemy. And it is a movie that is like spoofing Black spirituality and conspiracy theory, I believe, right? Like that's the point of the movie. So I guess I think she's making the claim that it's that movie in and of itself is conspiracy. It's meant to demoralize and
it's an attack.
Yeah, it's meant to just make you go like, no, you're not figuring out the truth. You're not living in the 3-dimensional prison of the evil archons. What do we give this book overall, guys?
It's got a lot more in it than
I expected.
Thought.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it does give you kind of a semi-comprehensive view of what Bobby Hemmitt believed, at least parsed together by the person making it. So, I can't say for a fact how consistent Bobby Hemmitt was in every single one of his beliefs, but this person made a consistent worldview for Bobby, even if I think it's laughably simple and goofy, but it is a consistent view based on the information provided. And that's way more than I thought I was going to get. I thought I was going to get a list of like, check out all the books that Bobby talked about. And as far as an enjoyable read, it's very enjoyable. I can't remember how much it was. I think I spent like $10 or something like that. But
something like that.
Yeah, so was it worth the $10 to get a chuckle out of it reading and read it for the podcast? Yeah,
absolutely.
Do you have a podcast listener? Maybe if you're gonna do it for that, cool. If not, I mean, I think we told you all the fun parts. There's maybe a couple more quotes in here that you could laugh your ass off about, but not much.
Thankfully, because we've talked about it here today, You, listener, don't need to spend $10 on this book. You could actually take that $10, cut it in half, and give 5 of it to the Chaos
you
Magic
could
News Patreon.
you could yeah, and then you can keep that other $5 and you're $5 ahead already, you know?
Malt liquor sipping simple.
Yep. Yep. Is that quote in there?
No.
No,
How
no,
is
no.
that not in there? That's iconic at this point. Yeah, I say it's iconic just because I keep saying it.
All right, and with that, it's time for the palate cleanser of the show, where we ask, how goes the work? So, Cios, you're the guest. Briefly, if you'd like, how goes the work? What are you doing magically?
Well, let's see. Most recently, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this. Most recently, as of last Thursday, I believe, I've talked about this with you guys before, but all the listeners might not know it. I did a little new moon night gaunt ritual, which to any listeners who don't know what that is, it's kind of a bit of dream divination kind of ritual I came up with myself last year.
It's dope as hell is what it is.
Yeah, we tried it out. It's interesting.
Quick rundown. Night gaunts are weird Lovecraft dream demon things. You basically use them to try to bring you outside, like information that you're looking on, and you go and you write messages on notes and nail them to a tree in the middle of the night during a new moon when the moon's not out. Put another bit under your little sigil under your pillow and wait for the dreams, wait for the night gaunts to come and bring you the information, and you discern it when you wake up in the morning. And most recently, I couldn't think of anything like, super insightful that I was looking for. So I just straight up asked, how's the CMN show gonna go on Sunday? And what I wound up getting was kind of interesting. I got four things: visions of fire, visions of water, and me, I believe, sinking into it. All of this while I'm wearing a white initiation robe, which was kind of weird. And then specifically, I don't know what this is in relation to, the quote, deep tales of sadness. So, in any way you want to relate those to how today went.
I think it's obvious, and we don't need to tell the listeners. You can clearly figure it out.
But other than that, though, little bit here and there, a little bit of voodoo. I've actually probably, I don't know if anybody else has taken the old Minnesota voodoo joke maybe a little more seriously than I should have.
Well, no, it's incredibly serious, and it's very real.
Like
you paid your $5. You
got
you're
it.
licensed to do the Minnesota voodoo.
Yep.
And I've been working with a little bit of stuff like that. I have a particular grave in a nearby cemetery that I sort of use as an altar, been doing stuff on, and been getting some good results out of that. It's kind of funny though, because I go and leave little, things, little tools and stuff on the gravestone, little voodoo veves, cigars, rum, money, stuff like that. And what you find is it's interesting what the caretakers at the cemetery do and do not take when they're cleaning up. For some reason, all the rum bottles and cigars and stuff were gone, but they do not touch any of the weird symbols or money I've left stacked.
Oh boy.
Maybe they know something. But
I mean, I know something.
A little bit of aranomancy and a bit of voodoo, all of it with, I'd say, pretty good results. Yeah. So
heck yeah. That's good to hear.
That's been what I've been up to recently. I don't really have any sort of like regular practice, I would say. Like I don't do anything like every day or even necessarily every week because I just feel like it would start feeling like work. So I just kind of wait until I'm inspired, I suppose, to get down and get some ritual done.
Co-host, what about you? How's the work going?
Well, we mentioned it on the last podcast. I'm not going to get into all the details because we're going to talk about it later. But I was doing a working that Peter Carroll wrote involving the cup, and I got images related to the deep ones, the element of water, particularly Binah and the mystery of sorrow. And what it did was that it made me go read the Typhonian trilogies, where and you can always say like, oh well, you got information that you made it square with what you were getting, but I got some things that kind of squared some circles for me. I mentioned it 2 episodes back, I believe, mentioning the thing with the Hanged Man. Uh, so the path of the Hanged Man is what runs between Hod and Gibora. It's the 23rd path. The Hanged Man has associations with water. Grant refers it to as the path of the deep ones. It has associations with the Lovecraftian deep ones, gods that are of a watery aspect, Neptunian things. Nodens is associated with it. So night gaunt thing, that's fun. Also, the number 23 shows up in Discordianism because of, by way of Robert Anton Wilson, Law of Fives. And it mentions the Hanged Man being the symbolic of the crossroads, which shows up as in like voodoo, right? So crossroads, it's the idea of the crucified or the hanged or the drowned man is the liminal space between the world of matter and the world of spirit, that sort of thing. And now all I'm thinking about is the 23 enigma, and the reason that like you keep seeing it, and it's because it is the invitation to that liminal space between the ordinary brick and mortar reality that you live in and that synchronistic intuitive realm of the spirit, where magic happens, that sort of thing. So that's fun. And then that goes back to when I was reading Burroughs, going through the Cities of the Red Knight trilogy, where it mentions the people hanging shows up in Burroughs' work a lot. That starts in Naked Lunch and goes on till then. But it's there was one I was bugging Kennedy about it. It's like, dude, he mentions the hanging because there's the intersection of sex and death. We're right at the moment of the hanging, and that way you're able to project your spirit out into a different incarnation, that sort of thing. And so it's like reading that, then looking at the Typhonian trilogies and seeing all of these things, and it's like, oh my god, it all makes sense. It was a peacock. He was an alchemist from Egypt. I was having one of those moments again, and it's the practical application of it is it's coming together. I'm starting to piece some things together, like how it's like, okay, these are weird synchronistic things that you're seeing. How do you turn that into actual practical magic of things you can do with it? But I'm getting there, and then things are going well. It's interesting, but it was funny to be doing a ritual that had nothing to do with I was doing a ritual that didn't have anything to do with anything I had previously done, and all it did was push me to look at something else that, like, oh hey, here's that piece of information that you were missing. Yeah, so that was neat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
What about you?
As you know, I was also doing the thing with you. We did it with Local and Coco, and we'll talk about it later on the show. I was just focusing on that the entire time for the last month. So that's pretty much been most of my practice beyond doing like the simple things like, oh, I'm banishing. Oh, I'm doing yoga. Nothing crazy to report. I don't have anything interesting to tell you. Still rereading a lot of other books to talk about them for the thing that we're working on. So I'll update you when I got something interesting to say. So with that, this has been Chaos Magic News,
the only podcast that really can't stop doing the Bobby voice for whatever reason.
Oh, guys, I got it. The thing from my dream, the deep tales of sadness. I figured out what that is. It was a message from co-host's dog. He hasn't been giving him enough belly rubs.
Yo,
of course.
Okay, as always, if you would like me to give my hound dog more belly rubs, you could go to chaosmagicnews.com and tell us. And while you're there, you can see that we've got links to all of the episodes of the pod, links to our interview series, and the occasional article for your perusal. You can also find us on social media at Chaos Magic News, where we're posting much of the same as well as dank memes to keep pumping that algorithm to trick you into
and get
watching this
angry
show.
people at us.
Yeah, and finding crazy people messages. And if for whatever reason you listened to this and you were like, man, I cannot get enough.
If Cios's pitches were really tickling your fancy,
you can find our Patreon, and for $5 a month, you can get access to bonus content where we do episodes like where we read through occult text and give commentary. We have an iceberg. We have an occult iceberg that we go through. We're on tier 5. That's coming down the pipeline. And also, as we're getting ready to update the Discord where you can come and join us. You don't have to be on the Patreon to join the Discord, but we are going to be adding some Patreon exclusive channels and stuff like that. And we might post group workings that you can get in on. So if any of that interests you, you can put up your $5 and come join us. Am I forgetting anything?
yes, you are, because if you do support us for as little as $5 a month, you get your name read right here in the episode. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Local. Thank you, Cios93. Thank you, Pope Loki Sater the 23rd LLC. Thank you, Obsplek. Thank you, Coco. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Acolyte 1 of the Ice Magic Meditation Society. Thank you, Cursed T. Thank you, Fyodor Krasny. Thank you, Venus Christ. Thank you, Tent Athena. Thank you, Bearded Vegan. Thank you, Treymov. Thank you, Tangy Darling. Thank you, DD Destruction. Thank you, Toziel Obscurus. Thank you, Lavender Ghost. Thank you, Tommy Kelly. Thank you, Clodevis. Thank you, Cyrenex. Thank you, Eric the Wizard. Thank you, Marcio Mendoca. Thank you, Mrs. Local. Thank you, Archaic. And thank you, Michael Lamara. Boy, howdy. Every time we read that list, it feels like there's not only more people, but I'm humbled by how people are willing to support this nonsense. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys really do. Y'all really do the most for us. And it's this show, like we always said, it's like we would be doing this show if nobody was listening, but to know that there are people that not only listening, but supporting it, it really does mean the world.
Yeah, especially with all the people that are like, you listen to CMN. Didn't they do the Bobby voice?
All right. You know what? With all of that, Cios, would you like the last word?
Always drink your Ovaltine.
All right. You had to get the decoder ring out?
That is my Golden Dawn ring. Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think I blew my wad screaming about bro, Egypt.
Yeah,
Alchemist.
no, that was actually
the weeks, bro.
Yeah, that
you
was the
tell me
exact
I'm
point.
wrong.